97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Live video streaming on the X platform, YouTube, at Mike Gill Show. We are ready to go on a Friday. Holy mackerel. The Eagles feel like they haven't played. This feels like the start of the season, right? Feels like the preseason, and you're like getting ready for that first game. It feels like the Eagles haven't played in so long. But here we go. Monday Night Football. And the Eagles take on the Packers, who right now, 1.5 favorite in the game. That line has moved a little bit in the Eagles' favor. We talked about it the other day. I feel like this is a Packer line, and it feels like the public is all throwing money at the Eagles. A busy show today. McGarry at 2:30. Ross Tucker for the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, 3 o'clock. The unsportsmanlike moment of the day. Football at 4 today. Andrew DeCecco's in the house. Little switch in the 4 o'clock hour. Austin Krell, the Sixers beat reporter from On Pattison, is going to join us. Sixers have a double dip. Not Al Palantonio, but Sal Palantonio is set to join us at 5 o'clock. It's a Sal Pal Friday. Got a text message from Sal this morning regarding the quality of the football game last night. Not very good for those of you who watched the whole thing. I chose to opt out of that awful football game last night. I was watching some Flyers who got a win. And the Nuggets tonight, Knicks Nuggets at 5:30 on the Sports Bash. I think you look at this game, and we're going to talk a lot about it throughout the day. DeCecco, Ross Tucker. I think if you look at it and say, hey, who's the better team? Just ask that question. Does everybody out there listening say Philadelphia? Does everybody out there say Philadelphia is the better team? 609-403-0973. Simply question this. Who's better, Philadelphia or Green Bay? Is it a simple enough answer? That's one. 2, is Philly just simply the better team? That's 1. 2, right now, who do you feel better about entering this game? Philadelphia off the bye, 1, or Green Bay coming off of a loss? Which one? Who feels like they're in the better spot this week? Because you could look at it from this perspective, right? Philly had the bye. Philly had the bye this week. You feel good coming off of a bye. And you had kind of a mini bye the week before that kind of got yourself right a little bit. But you have the bye week. You feel good coming out of the bye. But now you have a team that lost a home game where they were a double-digit touchdown favorite. 2-touchdown favorite, I should say. And they got clipped in that game. So you know they're going to be refocused here. Everybody's questioning them. How did they lose to that Carolina team? Who feels like they're in a better spot right now? Philadelphia or Green Bay? I was thinking about that this morning. Like, all week long, I keep talking about this being a Packers line. And we had Jeff Nadeau on yesterday, our gambling insider, our best bets, and he likes Green Bay in the game, 1.5. And one of the reasons is, hey, you lose a game like that against Carolina, you focus back up. You get your act together. 609-403-0973. We got Eagles on the mind. We'll do Sixers a little bit. We got Phillies as well. You know, free agency has begun for baseball. You jacked up for that?
I don't care.
What? No care for
there's no deadline with this stuff. I mean, these
no free agent sports has a deadline.
I don't have a deadline.
There's not like it starts on this date and it ends on this date.
Most sports leagues, there's a general sense of urgency, and it gets you excited.
Well, like football comes out of the gates with haymakers.
And so does basketball.
Basketball a little bit, more so than baseball. Baseball's definitely the slow skis. Remember those commercials? Meet the slow skis.
Yeah, for
Baseball's
Xfinity.
definitely the slow skis. Yes, Xfinity, which I wish I had right now because I have YouTube TV, and therefore I will not be watching much college football this weekend.
I think Xfinity should pay you to have your service back.
Right? Hey, would you like a free trial of our service so we can try to get you to come back?
Yeah, I think
I wouldn't
that would
say
be smart.
no, Xfinity. I just don't want to go through the whole hassle.
Exactly.
Is it going to be a hassle?
I think what they should do is they should say, listen, people like Mike Gill, if you have YouTube TV, this is our offer to you. We want to give you a free month of service. We will come out. We will do the install. We will do the whole thing. And if you cancel within 30 days, we understand, but we would like to bring you back as customers for YouTube TV.
Yes. I will say this. While I'm very ticked off at the YouTube TV situation, I really like their service. So they got that going for them. But that's the point. I really like your service, YouTube TV. Get your act together.
Right. Get your you-know-what together.
Terry and Galloway, I think Ross Tucker was the host of the Dan Patrick Show today. Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
He did the Dan Patrick Show today, and then he's doing our show.
At 3 p.m.
Mike, just a reminder, John and Buna, the Eagles game is in 3 days, not 3 hours. Pump the brakes, dude! Did I say 3 hours? I don't think so.
I thought you said 3 days, but sure, whatever.
If I did, I apologize.
We're sorry.
Yeah.
We're sorry that we're tired over here and we work a lot of hours.
I always say, you do 4 hours of radio 5 days a week, you are bound to say something incorrect.
Right. At some point, you're going to mess up.
Dare I say.
Maybe a mispronunciation or the day or what time it is. Like, it's going to happen.
It's Friday, too, by the way.
Happy Hour Friday.
It is Happy Hour Friday.
I got some beers for you today, by the way.
Do you?
Yeah.
Were they donated or?
No, well, no. I mean, I have some recommendations for you.
Oh, okay. I thought you brought in beers.
No.
I got good recommendations too. I visited the last weekend. I got some new stuff in the mix here that I'm going to put out there. By the way, Mike, it doesn't make sense to me they're favored over the Eagles when they lost to the Browns, they lost to the Panthers, and they tied the Cowboys. Well, that's like the NFL, but that's the point is fans get wrapped into who you lost against.
Right.
The odds makers don't care about that.
The odds makers want to make money.
Right. They look at Green Bay and saying, okay, they lost to Carolina. That happens. Philadelphia lost to the Giants. So to that guy who texted in, should the odds makers take that into consideration?
The odds makers don't take into consideration what anyone thinks. What they do is they set lines and numbers based on what they think they can get people to bet on.
Who's in the better spot? Philly off the bye, Green Bay off a bad loss. So that guy, let's bring that guy's point in. Philly off the bye or Green Bay off a bad loss? What, are you focused more coming off the bye, back into the season, tough stretch coming up? Or, man, we just lost to Carolina. We need to get our act together. Who's in a better spot?
To me, it's Philadelphia because they're getting healthy again. I think that's the huge part of this. To me, it's not about who you play last. It's about who you are coming into the game. And I think Philadelphia, they are the fresher, the more calibrated, the more focused. People forget that the losing of Tucker Kraft is probably going to potentially doom the Packers season. Because they'd already, you've mentioned it a million times here, Mike Gill, on the Sports Bash, about how the Packers don't have a number one receiver. And they haven't had a number one receiver.
Yeah.
Tucker Kraft was becoming that number one guy, and now he's done for the year.
Listen, I don't know that Tucker Kraft is a name that rings with some of the top tight ends in the league right now. But for many people's money, he's what makes this Green Bay offense go.
Exactly.
And we'll see, I should say, how the Green Bay offense, sputters a little bit. When you lose a player of that magnitude, he does a lot for them. I'm interested to see, and we'll talk more about this on Monday, but I am interested to see, for the people out there listening, how many people just flat out think that the Green Bay Packers are the better team here? Because entering this season, and by the way, the Super Bowl odds suggested that Green Bay is the better team. Now, not right now. Philadelphia has slightly passed them, but slightly passed them after that loss last week. But when they made the trade for Micah Parsons, I contend that trade was so impactful to the public.
Right.
That the public went out on a crazy path and start putting this team. You want to crown them? Then you were crowning them early in the season, and it's all based on the fact that they got Micah Parsons. You say, well, yeah, they got Micah Parsons, and I agree. But when has there been a move where you added a defensive player And that changed the whole complexion of your team to make you go from one level to the next.
I would preface answering that by saying, can you give me like how much more of an elevation are you looking for? Are you looking for it just from like a non-playoff team to a playoff team? Are you looking for a team that was a playoff team to a contender, like a Super Bowl contender? Like what?
Just like where there was a trade that was made of a player. Now, that doesn't happen all that much. Like, you don't trade.
Right, there's not a lot of trades.
But, like, guys have changed teams, free agents or whatever. But my point on this is kind of Myles Garrett, you don't win the Super Bowl. You could draft Myles Garrett number 1 overall. That hasn't changed the Cleveland Browns.
Exactly.
You could draft J.J. Watt number 1, wherever they got him, not number 1 overall.
He's like the 9th overall.
But I'm saying, like, you get a player of that magnitude, it's a great pick. He's a great player.
Hall of Famer.
But the Houston Texans are no better because they have him. And I know that's weird to say. It's like they got this great player. But I don't want to say that Micah Parsons is just, hey, they got this great player, they put him on a team. But I don't know that it really has elevated them to any different level. Last week, Carolina beat them because of Micah Parsons.
Right, well, because they manipulated the Packers and basically neutralized his impact on the game.
If you could run the ball, I got an idea. Run right at that guy.
Right.
Because he has not shown in any stop, Dallas and now Green Bay, that he is up for the task of stopping the run. So while I'm not suggesting the Micah Parsons effect only really helps if you're in the lead and he can pin his ears back. If it's a grinded out, tough kind of game, Micah Parsons isn't really the guy that I want to rely on if I'm the Green Bay Packers. And that's where Philadelphia, I think, has to try to say, where's Micah Parsons on the field? We're going to go attack that guy, and we're going to see if he wants to get his hands dirty with us this weekend.
And to me, I think that's where, to answer your previous question, it's not that a defensive player cannot elevate you or make your team that much better, but it's like anything in football. It depends on the rest of the team.
He makes them better if they have the lead.
Well, no, he makes them better if the rest of the team is at a certain level. Like, for example, when the Rams added Jalen Ramsey before they won the Super Bowl, that was a huge deal because that defense for years, they had Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald was a great player, but he wasn't enough, Mike. Then they added Jalen Ramsey, and it was like, wait a minute, this defense is way better, and they went on to win a championship. Mm-hmm. And there are other situations like that where it's not that adding the great defensive player is not enough. It's what are you adding him to? Are you adding him to a team? Like, for example, when the Raiders traded Khalil Mack to the Bears, did Khalil Mack take the Bears from a meh team to a playoff team? He absolutely did. But the problem was when Khalil Mack was in Chicago, his quarterback was Mitch Trubisky. And so the defense, for as great as they were with him and Roquan Smith and others, it wasn't good enough because the rest of the team wasn't good enough. And that to me is the problem with the Packers. They are such a young team that the rest of the team is not on Micah's level.
Well, they made the playoffs last year with this pretty much the same defense. They added him to that defense thinking, hey, we were a playoff team. We were a player too short against Philadelphia. Now we get this guy. To me, Micah works for them if they have the lead in the game. If they have the lead in the game, now Micah can do what Micah does best. Rush the passer, cause havoc. But if they don't have the lead in the game, he is pretty much rendered as a negative more so than he is a positive. So for Green Bay, it is imperative for them to have leads if they're going to utilize him at his best.
Sure, but that gets back to the point I just made about Khalil Mack, which is great.
Different situation, because you're talking about the quarterback spot. Your quarterback spot is Love, and this is where I think their problem is. Everybody looked at Parsons as changing the team. That's my point. Parsons didn't change the team. He can only change the team in one way, if they have the lead.
Right, but they don't have the lead because the offense is
but Love
not
is
functioning
significantly
well.
better than...
Well, yes, in the most literal sense, but I'm not trying to make a literal comparison here. What I'm trying to explain is that, to me, you can add the great defensive player if the rest of the team is on par.
Right, I go back to everybody, yourself included, don't cancel yourself out here, got Rochambeau'd by them adding Michael Parsons. And what I said all along is, that trade doesn't do enough for me. Why? Because they didn't improve their offense enough to give them the lead to make Micah Parsons matter.
Right.
So you can get Micah Parsons, but what good is he if your team is playing from behind?
I agree. And listen, yes, I was one of the people in August and September putting my hand up here on the radio. You can't see me, but I'm saying I was one of those people. But I'm also confirming your point over here. I'm explaining that the reason why your point makes sense, not just with Micah Parsons, but with other situations.
Yeah, no, listen, that's going back to why I think everybody looked at the Packers incorrectly.
Mm-hmm.
They looked at them and getting Micah Parsons and just looked at them getting this great player and putting him on their defense and making their defense better. But what they really failed to do is upgrade their offense to the level that it needs to be to make Micah Parsons matter more. And that's where I think this game is so interesting, because the Eagles like to run the ball. They've liked to run the ball. They haven't done it well this year. But if they run the ball, you run it right at Micah Parsons and make him early in the game be a factor, get your early lead, and then try to make him a little bit useless. And that's where I think Philadelphia has the advantage over Green Bay.
And that goes back to what Dan Orlovsky, we played the audio yesterday from the Unsportsmanlike Moment of the Day, talking about how today's NFL, it's different now. And why the Eagles are the better team is because their philosophy to build a team was different than the Packers.
They added a guy that can get after the quarterback. I believe the NFC to get to the Super Bowl is firepower. You have to score or you have to stop teams from scoring. Like last year, the NFC was about you got to run the ball. Teams that could run the football were going to get there. This year, it's about you got to go score and you got to have the ability to stop teams from scoring. You got to stop quarterbacks. And so getting the addition of Jalen Phillips and also Nolan Smith coming back from injury, and I know that's not a trade deadline move, but he's still coming back around the same time. I think Philly's a big deal.
I do think Nolan Smith is lost in the sauce a little bit, and I will say I've had my questions about Nolan, more durability than ability. He was a tremendous asset to this team in the second half of last season.
And maybe
can I get
again?
that same second half that I got from Nolan last year? Because I didn't get that when he was healthy this year.
Correct.
I did not get the same level of pass rush. Last week, by the way, Carolina, Rico Dowd, the great Rico Dowd, 25 carries, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns.
The legend.
You would hope and you would think that Philadelphia's offensive line and Saquon Barkley took notes. I'm not saying those guys specifically, but you know what I mean.
No, absolutely. And I think that that's why when you're having the conversation about who's the better team, Orlovsky talked about how you have to have offensive firepower and you have to have a pass rush. Well, the problem with the Packers is they got one part of the formula right. They didn't get the other part. The Eagles have said, no, we're going to go all in on the full formula.
Well, listen, I think you can get an early advantage on this team by running the football against them. Carolina can do it. You can do it. If you can't do what Carolina does, you got big problems. If you can't.
That conversation on Tuesday when the Sports Bash starts here is going to be very uncomfortable.
You can't do what Carolina can do, then we got big problems.
Yes.
Carolina ran the ball at ease against the Green Bay Packers. Why? They found Micah Parsons and said, we're going to go right at you, number one. Hey, where's number one on the field? There he is. Let's go right at him. You know what he ended up with? 3 tackles in the game. 3 tackles, that's it? You're a linebacker. 3 tackles, that's it? They ran the ball at you all day long.
Yep.
They said, where are you? Not good enough. I look forward to the matchup. We're going to get into it throughout the show. Ross Tucker's going to talk about it. Andrew DeCecco. I want to get Andrew. We haven't had him on since the trades, and he's at practice all week long for InsideTheBirds.com. What does he think about this team? Who is the team that is in the better position? The Eagles coming off the bye, or Green Bay coming off an upset loss at home against Carolina? Who's in the better spot here? And who is just the better team? Eagles or Packers? If I just said to you, Joe and Summers Point, who's the better team? Eagles or Packers? Text in 609-403-0967. 0973 609 403 0973. Text board is open. A lot of people texting in. Phil and Brigantine. Mike, very confident of Eagles. They will be crisp and clean off the bye. What about their health? With the entire starting will they play? Nolan Smith okay to go. Phillips see the field. Barkley okay with the groin. So, I don't think that Juergens practiced yesterday. We don't have an injury report for today yet. They're practicing later today than they normally do. But the injury report yesterday, Nolan was a full participant. That doesn't mean he will play. We've seen guys be full and not play. Who else did he ask about? Barkley was a full participant yesterday. A.J. Brown was a full participant. I don't know what to expect for Jalen Phillips' playtime this week. No idea. No one's really kind of come out and say that. But those are all fair questions, Phil. I think if and keep in mind, Willie Lampkin was activated. Now, I don't know that he's going to go out there and play center right off the bat, but it is definitely something. So the injury concerns are you might be past the injuries, right? You got a full – let me real quick. Yesterday, the injury report came up right when we got off the air yesterday. Yeah, 6:01. So right when we got off the air yesterday. Juergens was a DNP. Adoree Jackson and Moro Ojomo, both in the concussion protocol. You would think they have a couple extra days or an extra day that they should be okay.
Jackson, by the way, they're coming off a bye week, so it's not like they got a concussion this past weekend. Mm-hmm. If they're in concussion protocol, that means it's probably something lingering, and they're just being extra careful.
They were limited yesterday, so Adoree, probably not the biggest loss if he doesn't play. Probably Ringo will start there. I would imagine Jair Alexander, don't know if he'll play or not. Michael Carter, don't know if he'll play or not. I would imagine Michael Carter has a better chance to play. He got traded a little earlier, and
right.
I don't know. We'll see. Those two. And full practice yesterday, Saquon, Jacorian Bennett. That's going under the radar a little bit, too. A.J. Brown, Willie Lampkin, and Nolan Smith was a full participant at practice yesterday. All right, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, live video streaming on the X platform at Mike Gill Show, on YouTube at Mike Gill Show. You can follow, subscribe, be a part of the show. Text board is open. The free mobile app can get you attached to the show as well. Powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City. Here we go. Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City on the way. Ross Tucker from the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. He's also going to be on the national radio call Monday night on Westwood 1. Football at 4 today, Andrew DeCecco. Austin Krell on Patterson, Sixers Insider. Sal Pal Friday. We are just getting started. It's the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN. Ross Chucker, 3 o'clock today. Sal Palantonio, 5 o'clock. Sports Bash Live now. 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, live video streaming on the X platform, YouTube at Mike Gill Show. Subscribe, like, be a part of the show. Text board is open, 609-403-0973. Who's in a better spot? Philly out of the bye or Green Bay coming off of a bad loss? Sometimes the bad loss focuses you up. Who's just the better team, Philly or Green Bay? We'll get into that. Some Sixers back-to-back this weekend. All of a sudden, 5-3. Are the good vibes already gone? And the start of Phillies offseason. Major League Baseball free agency is underway. The Hot Stove League is open. We'll get Mike McGarry's thoughts on that and more right now from the press of Atlantic City. Mike McGarry is here. And, of course, Mike McGarry is brought to you by our friends over at Broadlee's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, your trusted source for heating, plumbing, service, and installation. Call 609-390-3907. Online, broadlees.net. Mike, what's going on, man, as we get ready for this Friday afternoon? We got no Eagles until Monday night. But if I were to ask you, who's in the better spot? Philly off the bye or Green Bay with an eye-opening bad loss at home against the Panthers?
Well, Mike, the Eagles had one of the greatest bye weeks maybe in the history of the NFL. They made several key trades to kind of bolster weak spots on their team, and then they sat back and watched, both Green Bay and the Detroit Lions lose last week. So some NFC contenders taking it on the chin. So it's a shame the Eagles actually have to return to the football field and play and ruin the good karma of the vibe. When I look at this game Monday night, Green Bay at home on a Monday night is tough. And I think the question you have to ask yourself is, are the Packers going to lose back-to-back games at home? So in answer to your question, I'll take Green Bay coming off the bad loss at home and now playing a nationally televised game at home against a team they should be all fired up for.
Yeah, the line's even saying bet the Eagles, bet the Eagles. It opened at 2.5, and everybody started taking them. It's down to 1.5. It felt like a Packer line there, like they're begging you. If I was just to say, take all of that out, better spot, bye week, coming off the loss, who's the better team, Philly?
Well, I think
Green Bay?
The Eagles are the better team. I think the Eagles are without a doubt the better team. Now, can they go on the road and win on a Monday night in Green Bay? That'll be the question. But I think the Eagles have the better personnel, and I think they get more consistent quarterback play, and I think that's the difference between the two teams. I mean, Jordan Love, sometimes he's great, but sometimes, like last Sunday, he's terrible.
Yeah, I think the inconsistency's there. One of the things about Green Bay, we talked about this in the first segment, Mike, want to get your take on it, is when they got Micah Parsons, it felt like everybody just kind of crowned them. Like they got this. And by the way, Mike is an awesome player, but he's a difference maker when they have the lead. He can be a negative if they're not, winning the football game. So are they kind of overvalued a little bit, or did they deserve to be put on a next level? Because this is a team that went to the playoffs last year. People liked them last year. They got bounced out early by Philadelphia. You add Micah Parsons. Did they take a jump to the next level for you, or are they still kind of more of a maybe a playoff divisional round as opposed to an NFC championship or Super Bowl team?
Well, Mike, I think they're in there in the mix, right? Especially, and again, let me back that up a little bit. Let me say this is a key game for them on Monday night, right? If Green Bay loses to the Eagles and now they lose 2 games in a row at home, I got to knock them down a big peg. If they win on Monday night, then I can say to myself, I start looking at them, I start looking at the Eagles, I look at them with the 3 teams from the West, Seattle, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. I look at those teams as being contenders, but I don't think you can put Green Bay in there if they lose back-to-back home games. Never mind just the fact that they lose back-to-back home games, but what's that going to do for their playoff seeding? Is that going to put them on the road in the playoffs? Probably. So I think this is a very key game. And I know what you're saying about they got Micah Parsons, and he's obviously a great player, but he's more of a cog in the machine. He's not a quarterback. He's not a running back. He's not a wide receiver. He's a linebacker. And he's a linebacker that's most effective probably when the Packers are up a touchdown or two, and he can just rush the passer on a continuous basis. When he's got to play straight-up defense, stop the run, he's less effective there. So no doubt that getting Parsons was a big, big deal, but to me, it's not the same as getting, a quarterback, a running back, somebody who touches the ball, in a running back's case, 25 times a game. In a quarterback's case, every play.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, is that right now, you see this, we talk about it all the time. Myles Garrett, tremendous. That doesn't help them win games. J.J. Watt, when he played, tremendous. Didn't help change them at all.
Hey, Mike, look at the Jets. I mean, the Jets had great defensive players that they just traded away. They're the worst team in football. Sauce Gardner gone. They trade away another guy. These defensive guys are big pieces. They're talented players. You need a good defense to win. But I don't know if the addition of any one defensive player is going to put your team over the top.
Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City, pressofac.com. Let's flip over to the Hot Stove League, which is, kind of chilly in recent years. Doesn't get off like a bang like football does when people start moving. But the more you think about this, Mike, I know you've talked about it a little bit here, but is it behoove the Phillies to just try to keep the pieces of this together, tinker it a little bit, or do you think they got to just try something different?
To me, I think number one, they've got to try to at least bring back Schwarber and Realmuto. You let Ranger Suarez walk, and then I think what you have to do is do both. You have to tinker and you have to keep it together. And by that, I mean you have to keep this core together. And at the same time, I think you need to change the outside of the core, right? I mean, and again, we talked about the players that they might be looking to deal. Alec Boehm is a guy, opening things up for a right-handed hitter. So I think the Phillies have to do both, and it's tough to do, and it's a tough tightrope to walk. You want to keep that core together. If you let Kyle Schwarber walk out the door to another team, who's hitting 56 home runs next year for the Phillies?
That's the problem.
Those 56 home runs, where are the Phillies going to be? So you got to keep the core together, yet tinker at the same time to try to put yourself over the top.
That's the problem is, all right, let's say you want to just change something. You let Schwarber walk out the door and bring everybody else back. You're basically saying that was the weak spot. We got to replace him. That's not a way to go. If you bring Schwarber back and you then let Realmuto go and you don't bring back Bader, you need a center fielder again. You now need a catcher. They are in probably one of the most tangled webs of off seasons that I can remember of trying to figure out, like, do we just bring them back one more time and try this again? Or do we bring back one of the guys? Or, Mike, do we do what some of these other teams have done? And maybe we don't win as much in the regular season, but we go with Justin Crawford and Aiden Miller, and we go with the younger guys, and hopefully by the end of the year, those guys are now much better and more impactful players, and that's the way that you change the complexion. And the fans, they love the younger guy.
Yeah, everybody loves prospects, right? And I agree to a degree, Mike. I'm all for Justin Crawford starting opening day next year. He's either the starting left fielder, or we've talked a little bit about him being the starting center fielder, but I'm fine with him being the starting left fielder. I'm fine with Andrew Painter being in the rotation next season. In fact, I would go as far to say if Crawford and Painter aren't on the major league roster, and one in the rotation and one being an everyday outfielder next year, the season's a disappointment. And those two players have had disappointing springs. I'm all for Aiden Miller maybe getting a call up in June or July of next season to help with the left side of the infield. So, yeah, I think they've got to infuse new energy, infuse a new player or two. But to break up this core that has won back-to-back NL East titles and won, 95, 96 games, and I know everybody said the loss to the Dodgers was crushing. Well, you know what's even more crushing than a loss to the Dodgers? Seeing your team home in October and not playing in the playoffs for the first time in 4 years. So to me, they've got to bring back Schwarber. I kind of got a grin and bear it with Realmuto. You got to bring back, in my mind, Realmuto, and then you've got to add in these young players, and then, for God's sakes, find a right-handed power bat to put in a corner outfield spot or third base. I think that is the blueprint for a successful Phillies offseason. Not easy to do.
No, it's not. They've been looking for that right-handed bat for about 4 years now. Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City. Well, the vibes around the Sixers were pretty good, and then they blew a 24-point lead and then got waxed on the back-to-back. They now have another back-to-back this weekend, and you never know with Embiid whether he's going to be a part of the back-to-back. Looks like Paul George still not ready to go. Dominic Barlow will not play in the back-to-backs either. Are the vibes already muted around this Sixers team?
Yeah, I would think so, Mike, right? I think you hit a little bit of a reality check this week. And first of all, let me say this. Mike, who's doing the NBA schedule? The NBA season just started. It goes to April. Why in God's name are the Sixers playing 4 games in 6 days in the first week of November when the season has another, 5 months?
Totally agree.
In the regular season, I mean, it's completely ridiculous.
And Wednesday night, they played on a back-to-back in Cleveland. Cleveland hadn't played since Sunday.
Right. It just makes no sense whatsoever. I think the thing you're seeing with the 76ers here, Mike, and this has been the age-old story, right? I turn on the Knicks. There's Jalen Brunson. There's Anunoby. There's Karl Anthony Towns. There's Mikal Bridges. They play. You turn on the TV, they're on the court. They're playing. I turn on the Sixers game. Embiid's on a minute restriction. McCain is back. Then he's out. Paul George isn't here. I mean, I don't understand how a basketball team gets any rhythm or consistency when you are constantly taking major pieces in and out of your lineup. I just don't think it's conducive to being successful in the NBA, and it's just not the way basketball is played. Basketball is a game based on chemistry, feel. I know where you're going to be on a certain play. I know where you like to get the ball. I make a no-look pass because I trust you're going to be there. But how do the Sixers do that when every game there are guys missing? And I just don't know how you're successful as a basketball team when when that's how you're trying to navigate the season.
No, there's no argument there. You're right. And the one big thing is, if this is where you're doomed from almost the start, is a lot of these guys didn't go through training camp. And then they can't play. There's no continuity. And some of them have never played with each other. VJ Edgecombe's like, hey, I'm new here. Who's this 7'2" guy? Some nights he's here, some nights he's not. He's only out there for 25 minutes. Wait a minute. There's no way that they can get that rhythm and flow, and now you're waiting for Paul George. So, while this season to me feels like it's the development of this, getting away from the Embiid-centric offense to now this guard offense. This is not a season about, hey, can they win an NBA championship? And that stinks for the fans, but that's really what this year seems to be.
Yeah, but my question, Mike, would be, can they even be successful playing like this? And what are they getting out of it? If you're looking to make that transition to the guard-dominated team, okay, but can you make that transition successfully when you're still going back to the future every other game with Embiid? I mean, are you going to be a guard-dominated team or are you going to play with Embiid? I think you got to decide, and I think sometimes maybe we're putting a little too much on the guards. I think McCain, obviously, everybody saw that he was eligible to play, and everybody got excited. But in fairness to him, he hasn't played since December of last season. So for us to expect him to go out there and him be the player we saw, at the start of his rookie season last year, immediately isn't fair to him. So to me, they've just got too many moving pieces, too many questions. And like I said, it's a different team almost every night. And that's not a successful recipe for basketball, whether you're coaching the Hal Hawks in Youth League, a team in the Cape Atlantic League, a college basketball team, or the Philadelphia 76ers.
Mike McGarry, where are you heading to as we wind down the high school? I say wind down, it's November 7th. I still feel like they should be playing regular season games right now.
Yeah, I mean, high school football, Mike, this is the best. To me, this is the best weekend of high school football. Sectional semifinals, it's kind of akin to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament. This is where you really get great matchups between teams. It's almost like, everybody likes the NFL, the Super Bowl and the conference championships, but the best weekend of the playoffs is that weekend before that, the divisional games and stuff like that. Same thing with high school football. We'll have coverage, pressofac.com, scoreboard. I'll be heading over to Burlington Township, fourth-seeded Mainland, taking on undefeated Burlington Township in a South Jersey Group 3 semifinal. And then we'll have our guy, Pat Mulranen, down at Atlantic City as they host the three-time defending state champion Toms River North in a South Jersey Group 5 semifinal. And we'll have all the scores and stuff updated on our website from the playoff games around South Jersey. Really, to me, the best weekend of high school football of the season is tonight and tomorrow.
You get all the coverage over at pressofac.com. Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City. Back on Monday. We'll recap the weekend. A lot of action this weekend. And Mike's back with us Monday right here on the Sports Bash. Thanks, Mike.
All right, Mike, we'll see you down the road. Thank you.
All right, 246 Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. When we come back, the text board has been buzzing. I'll read and react to some of them, plus the 99 bottles Sounders still to come. Ross Tucker from the Ross Tucker Football Podcast joins me at 3 o'clock right here on the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN. All right, 252. Welcome back. Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. Thanks to Mike McGarry, of course. He'll be back on Monday. Ross Tucker coming up at 3 o'clock today. We'll do the Friday 5 in the 3 o'clock hour today, where we look back at my 5 favorite games from the summertime in Week 10, and then see if those 5 games are still the best games of Week 10. I doubt they have been. There's been very few times. This league has been so crazy. Text board 609-403-0973. Shaner and EHT. First off says, Happy Hour Friday. Hot apple cider with a little caramel liqueur. What do you think about that there, Josh? You good?
I'd rock with that.
Green Bay off a loss at home is dangerous, Shaner says. I do agree. Like having them back-to-back there. Tough spot for Philadelphia here, although I like Philly with the bye situation. Guys, if Kyle Schwarber signs elsewhere, I'm certain the Phillies will bring in Pete Alonso or Alex Bregman, if not Kyle Tucker. Why don't you just throw in like Mike Trout and Albert Pujols and any other like guy?
That's not fair. I mean, Alex Bregman is a legitimate option.
I think there's like less than a 1% chance they bring in Pete Alonso unless Schwarber leaves.
Right. If Schwarber leaves, then there's definitely a spot for Alonso.
But I don't see I think as McGarry said the other day, I think the Mets bring him back.
Yeah, and I would also say that, to me, the reason why I keep going to Bregman is because the Phillies have had conversations about Alec Boehm being traded
Bregman's
before.
name's come up a lot, yes. The third base spot, I think. Here's the problem with Bregman. Where are you hitting him? They need a guy to hit fourth.
Right.
They need a guy to hit right-handed
and he's
bat
not
behind
that guy.
Harper, and Bregman's not that guy. Bregman is like a more trustworthy addition of Boehm.
Yes.
Like, he's a 280 hitter with like 20 homers.
Right.
He's not going to hit 35 homers. They need
No.
a guy that can hit 30, 25, 28, 30, 32 homers to hit.
They need somebody
in
who hit
the four
dingers.
holes. Yes. And, I mean, Bregman's like a good, solid, professional hitter, but he's not a home run guy. So keep that in mind. Keep the text coming, 609-403-0973, 609-403-0973. One more real quick. Philly's the better team. Philly's in better position. Getting Nolan and Jalen Phillips to a pass rush, adding corners to the one weakness. Good text message there. Philly's the better spot. Philly's the better team. Sports Bash is live on 97.3 ESPN. Coming up, stick around. Ross Tucker from the Ross Tucker Football Podcast joins me in about 5 minutes. That right there is our 99 bottle sounder. I need caller number 7, 609-573-3776. 609-573-3776. Caller 7. Right now, you are entered for this year's 99 Bottles party at Maynard's in Margate. All you got to do is be the 7th caller, and you've already won a pair of tickets to a game this year. Sixers, Flyers, Eagles club box seats for the game against the Commanders, concert tickets, show tickets, and all sorts of events around the Delaware Valley. 609-573-3776. Caller number 7. Right now, you are entered. You must be present to win on Wednesday, November 26th at Maynard's in Margate, 9306 Amherst Avenue. Caller number 7. Good luck. Ross Tucker, don't go away. He's next. All right, everybody, welcome back. Sports Bash is live on 97.3 ESPN. Having a good time. Don't forget the Eagles and the Packers right here. Monday Night Football. If you're like me and you're a YouTube TVer, you're probably going to have to listen to the game on the radio, which is a good thing. As Ross Tucker joins us, he'll be on the call for Westwood 1. You also hear him during the Eagles preseason games. He's the host of the Ross Tucker podcast. Check him out at Ross Tucker NFL. And, of course, we're getting to the holiday season, Ross, and your appearance is always right here on the Sports Bash by myfrontpagestory.com. It's the best gift ever for this gift. You know what my girlfriend said to me today? Asked me if I want to go Christmas shopping after my show tonight. I said, no bleeping way. No way. But we're already at that time of the year.
Well, we are already at that time of year, and I'm just telling you, people a lot of times don't know what to get their significant other or their parents. A buddy of mine started this company, Mike. It's by far the best gift you could ever give a loved one. It's called myfrontpagestory.com. You literally talk to a writer for 10 minutes, or you can do an email about how great your wife is or your mom or whatever. They write this incredible story. It looks like it's on the cover of the newspaper. It's framed. It's beautiful. I can pretty much guarantee that your wife, your mom, whoever, your dad, they will cry tears of joy, like happy tears. In fact, if they don't cry, if you get this for them, myfrontpagestory.com, and they don't cry, email me over at rosstucker.com, and I will send you a signed autograph in the mail. It's the happy tear guarantee. Myfrontpagestory.com, myfrontpagestory.com. If for some reason your wife has no emotions, I would be shocked, but that's okay. Maybe you made a poor choice in marrying her. I'll still send you an autograph. Just hit me up over at rosstucker.com.
I love it. Well, tears of joy this week for the Eagles. Howie Roseman making moves. The most significant, Jalen Phillips, is in on that pass rush. Ross Tucker, how significant is that move, not only for a game like Green Bay on Monday night, but for the long haul, where this team obviously needed some pass rush?
Well, the thing I like the most about it is a few things. One is, Miami, and I don't know if this is how Vic Fangio will use him or not, but Miami's been moving him all over the place, and he has proven to be very effective at a number of different spots, right? So they can put him over the guard, they can put him over the center, and I really like that. They're getting pretty good pass rush inside already from Carter, Ajomo, and Davis, but I still like giving Fangio that type of versatility. I do think he'll primarily be rushing off the edge, but, now it gives them a different changeup. And, I can speak to this as a former offensive lineman. The more guys that you're going against, it's like seeing different pitchers as a hitter. They all have their own strengths, weaknesses. They all have different ways in which they'll attack you. And so I like just having more options, more alternatives to go ahead and throw at them. Plus, it's the last year of his contract. So theoretically, if it really works out, maybe they give him a new deal and extend him. Otherwise, if he goes somewhere else, they'll be getting a compensatory pick back anyway, you would think.
Yeah, it's obviously, and Vic's worked with Jalen before, so he obviously likes this addition to the pass rush. They'll get Nolan Smith back as well for the Monday night game. It looks like, anyway. He was on the practice report as a full participant yesterday. Looks like a pretty healthy team. Where is this defense in your mind through the first 8 games of the season where, they're 6-2? Is this a team that is defense first when you think of the Eagles?
Well, that's a good question. I think maybe earlier in the season, I would have answered that yes. Now I feel like more recently, it's been the offense that's carried them a little bit more with Jalen Hurts playing so well these last couple games. I think there's still more question marks for me on the defense than there are on the offense. I still think Makuba at safety has been a little up and down. Certainly, even though they traded for Michael Carter II as well as Jair Alexander, I don't know that they've necessarily solved their secondary issues or the cornerback spot. Again, it feels like it's a situation where Howie Roseman gave them a bunch of options, and they're hoping that one of those can really end up, being a good one for them.
Ross Tucker, of course, former NFL offensive lineman, will be on the call for Monday Night Football's Westwood One broadcast, and of course, the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. If we're looking at Green Bay, where are they in the pantheon? They've lost to Carolina at home. They lost to Cleveland. They had a shootout tie with Dallas. Is this a team that is a Super Bowl contender, or more of just, hey, yeah, they're a playoff team?
I still think they are a Super Bowl contender, but, I think there's a number of teams, the Eagles included, Rams, Seahawks, that I'm more impressed with right now in the NFC. And them losing Tucker Kraft was a really big deal. Obviously, if you take the quarterback out of it, I would say Kraft is probably the skill position player they could least afford to lose. Now he tears his ACL. He's done for the season. That's tough, man. I mean, that way the Eagles losing, whether it's Saquon or A.J. Brown or Devontae, whoever you want to call it, but that's a lot to overcome. And I feel like the Eagles are actually better suited than a lot of these teams to overcome that. So that hurts. I know there's a lot of underlying statistics and metrics that indicate that, the Packers are still a really, really good team. Certainly, I feel like they have the ability. They've been knocking on the door, and they make the big move for Micah Parsons. I think that they're right there, but I think there's a lot of teams that are kind of in that mix right now. I don't know that anybody is really separating from the top of the pack.
Well, Ron, I think if we had a conversation with 10 different people and said, rank your top five, that top five would look different for all 10 people almost. Like to pick a number one team, a number two team, a number three team. I mean, someone would say, I like Tampa Bay, or I like the Rams. I like Seattle. I mean, you're right. The depth in the NFC from top to bottom is deep, but is there a clear-cut team in your mind?
No, there's not. And I would say this, too. To add on to your point, it'll still change a couple times. Not only would we not have the same top five, but our top fives will end up changing as we move forward. And that's really the point, right? Is playoff positioning matters, but then ultimately it's how well are you playing when we get to, January and the games really matter. Certainly, you want to be playing well now, but probably more important that you just keep getting better and get ready to peak in January.
Well, to wrap it, we're kind of telling the story of the defense, where this NFC looks like. To make that deep run, the Philly offense last year, they got the run game going last week, 200-yard rushers. The week before, they had 200-yard receivers. You mentioned that the last couple weeks, they look like their offense is coming around. Do we feel that the Kevin Petula and the offense and everything is kind of has found their way?
Well, I think what helps is when the offensive line plays as well as it did against the Giants a couple weeks ago. I mean, that was super impressive. That's kind of the offensive line that we've come to know, love, and expect, and we hadn't really seen that, through the first 7 games. I think that's probably the most important thing Monday night is just how well this O-line plays. If they pick up where they left off against the Giants, I think we can be very excited about the rest of the season. If that was just a one-game aberration and they go back to being an average O-line, then we can't.
Ross, obviously, that offensive line is a position you know well. You played there. You saw Brett Toth play center and really had a good game, and that kind of unlocked everything. It just shows you how important having the 5 guys up front, all in unison. We took that for granted a little bit last year. Like, that was a historic situation. That Eagles line last year was, like, historically great for the way they played, but it just shows you to have one part of that kind of throws off everything. Playing that offensive line, just having a different guy next to you, it is a big change for these guys, and they finally had the same guys for 2 straight weeks, it feels like, up there.
Well, that helps for sure. And I think Toth is more of a center than he is a guard, and he kind of showed that in that game. Landon looked better at left guard. And I think that's a big thing. Landon looked healthier, was in there at left guard. Toltz had hurt them a little bit when he was at guard, but at center, feels like he's got a more natural feel for that position and is not put in as many compromising situations as he was at guard. So I think it looks like that's what it'll be Monday night.
Yeah. All right, you're on the call Monday night. Westwood 1 will have it. And, of course, Eagles and the Packers. Packers lost last week at home to Carolina. Is this a tough spot for Philly? I see that they're a slight – everybody just seems to say, how is Philly, an underdog in this game? But is this a week where you think Green Bay could bounce back after, having a little eye-opening experience last week?
Well, they should, and usually they do in the NFL. I mean, if you're a good team with only 2 losses, but you lose as a double-digit touchdown favorite,
at home,
touchdown favorite at home, yeah, I mean, history will tell you those teams usually bounce back from that. Now, there are the very rare case where, a team lets 1 loss become 2. I don't think that will be the case with Green Bay. I am expecting – Monday night, Lambeau Field, coming off that loss, I'm expecting the Packers to play one of their best games of the year.
All right, well, you'll hear the call, and, of course, the national broadcast, Ross Tucker, Kevin Harlan on the call. Always great to hear Kevin Harlan's call. And, of course, my front page story, it's the best gift ever. Tell the people to get their friends, get their families the best gift this holiday season, Ross. myfrontpagestory.com.
Trust me on this, fellas and ladies, but especially fellas. Your wife, significant other, whoever, your mom, they will, when they read the quotes from you and the kids saying we never thank her enough for everything she does for the family, they will cry happy tears. It'll be the best gift you've ever given them. They'll have it hanging up in the house. myfrontpagestory.com, myfrontpagestory.com.
Love it. Love the time of the season. We're in the week 10 of the NFL. Down the stretch they come. Eagles, Packers. Monday night, we'll have it for you right here on 97.3 ESPN. Ross Tucker, everybody. Ross, doing the Dan Patrick Show today, and then kind enough to jump over here. Thank you, buddy.
Hey, it is my pleasure. Always great to talk with you guys, Mike. You do a great job. Really looking forward to Monday night. And if you can't watch it, tune in for sure to Westwood 1. Should be great.
Thanks, Ross. And Ross Tucker here on the Sports Bash live on 97.3 ESPN. I am Mike Gill. This is the Sports Bash. We got so much to do. In fact, Ross Tucker, by the way, on the national call for Westwood 1. Yeah, if you're like me and you have YouTube TV, as we talked about, still no deal. No deal yet. I'm hopeful that they figure this out by Monday night. I do have a backup plan for this Monday night. My backup plan, my working theory, if you will, I think, okay, I've done the research. I think what I'm going to do is if they don't have a deal by Monday night for the Eagles game, I'm probably going to go Sling TV $4.99 day pass.
Okay, interesting.
Is watching the Eagle-Packer Monday night game worth $5?
Of course it is. Absolutely.
So that's my right now.
I was wondering if would you consider maybe the Fubo TV for the 7-day trial?
I Sling $4.99 for 1 day seems to be like my theory on this.
Okay.
Because next week, Monday night, is Cowboys-Vegas. I don't need to see that. Panthers-Niners the following week. Mm-hmm. I really don't need to see that. And then the Eagles.
Well, because the reason I'm asking about the 7-day trial that Fubo TV offers is because do you maybe want to watch some games over the weekend that are not on YouTube TV? Maybe you get it for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, then cancel it Tuesday.
Saturday, I'm calling the Blue Coats game at 1:00, so I'll be
busy.
I'll be on the TV myself, so you can watch me on TV. You don't need a college football game Saturday. You can watch the Blue Coats on CW 57. I'm on the call with D. Lynham.
That game might be more entertaining than some of the college football games on Saturday.
If you're a hoop head, you just love hoops. CW 57, 1:00 on Saturday. After that, the Sixers play, and they're wearing the throwbacks.
Yes.
On Saturday night.
Big deal. No.
So I think
now you have NBC Sports Philadelphia with YouTube TV.
Yeah, that's where the conundrum comes in here. I do have NBC Sports Philadelphia, so I can't get a product that's going to get me off of that. Mm-hmm. And that's where you're like, every platform is missing something. Like right now, like YouTube TV had pretty much all of them. They have Fox, they have NBC, they have CBS, and they have ESPN. Well, right now they don't have ESPN, ABC, so I'm missing that. Well, if I go to a different property, they might not have. They have ESPN, but then they don't have this one. So we still, in 2025, haven't been able to figure out how to just a la carte this thing.
And you talked with Nadu about this yesterday, about how like the convenience outweighs almost the cost at this point.
Well, that's the thing. To go back to cable, that's a whole rigmarole.
Right.
But in reality, cable's getting the last laugh. They have them all. They have everything. Now their price needs to be adjusted.
Yes.
They need to make it a serviceable price for people.
Yeah.
YouTube TV is it's a rounding error for them. They don't need anybody's money. They're a $3 trillion company.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I got rid of YouTube TV, because before all this happened, when they announced the price was going to go up, I was like, I got rid of cable to save money.
Well, that's what they did. They roped everybody in at like $39.99. That's what I got in at, $39.99. Then it was $49. Then it was $59. Now it's $89. So they won this round, and now they're winning right now because no one can watch Monday Night Football. It's the Eagles and the Packers. Hey, if you can't watch it on TV, you can listen to it right here on 97.3 ESPN. That was Ross Tucker joining us here on the Sports Bash. Coming up, we got so much more, including today's Unsportsmanlike Moment of the Day, football at 4, Nuggets tonight at 5:30. He's following Sal Paolantonio on a Sal Pal Friday. We're rocking and rolling on a happy hour Friday. What are you having this weekend? I need to know. 609-403-0973. I got some happy hour Friday picks that I tried last week for you guys. I'll be throwing them out later on in the show right here on the Sports Bash.
Paid for by term provider. Premiums will vary. Plans depend on age, location, and other factors. Visit BigBlue.com.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or visit BigLou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-777-1225.
Protect your home and auto by bundling them with Progressive, and you'll have a little less to worry about. But we know you'll find other things to worry about. Like that text you just got from your boss. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Oh, hey, call me when you get a sec. Yeah, this is bad. Oh, well, at least you protected your home and auto with Progressive, so you don't have to worry about that. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions.
Attention, anyone that owes money to the IRS. Every day, your unpaid tax debt gets bigger and bigger from daily interest. The longer you wait, the more you will end up paying. If you owe $10,000 or more, now is the time to settle your debt before the IRS takes aggressive action, like taking your wages or property. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, or other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Your tax debt gets bigger and bigger from daily interest. Call right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, or other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now.
Call 800-354-5850. 800-354-5850. That's 800-354-5850.
All right, 3:24, time for the Friday Five. My Friday Five each Friday on the Sports Bash is brought to you by my friends at Jersey Cal. Ice cream is a year-long thing with Jersey Cal, Northfield, Absecon, Brigantine. All right, let's look back at the Friday Five from the summertime. So the way this works is we gave you 5 games in the summer that we thought would be the 5 best games in Week 10. Then we're going to compare them to this week's schedule and see if they stood the test of time. Are you ready for my Friday Five from the summertime?
I am very interested because we're at the point in the season where there are at least 4 or 5 teams that are very different than a lot of people expected.
Yeah. Well, the number one game is definitely different from what we thought it was going to be in the summertime.
Oh, boy.
Friday Five, Week 10, Summer Edition. Washington, Detroit.
Yeah, that lost something.
San Francisco Rams.
Still good.
Arizona, Seattle. I don't know how that made it in the summertime.
I don't know. Maybe you thought the Cardinals would be better than they are. I don't know.
No, never thought they'd be good.
I don't know why you did that then.
Baltimore, Minnesota.
I mean, that's still interesting now, yeah.
Pittsburgh Chargers.
I mean, the Chargers are injured, but it's still an interesting game.
All right, let's look at the schedule. Find out this week's Friday Five. I would say, well, L.A. and San Francisco, that's still on.
Definitely.
Pittsburgh Chargers, that's still on.
Yep.
New England, Tampa Bay, that's on.
Definitely.
Yeah. The rest of this schedule's rough. How about Jacksonville, Houston?
That's the game I was looking at because, with the Colts losing last week, is there a part of you that looks at that game as potentially an eliminator?
Sure. If Houston loses, they're done.
They're cooked.
If Jacksonville wins, and I guess Atlanta, Indianapolis is it's the Berlin game early on Sunday morning, but that might be the fifth game in the Friday Five.
Listen, the AFC South is potentially on the line in Week 10.
Well, so Atlanta, Indianapolis, Bears, Giants just has nothing. Bears have to win the game to stay in the wild card race. If they win, they're 6-3. So it does matter for them.
It does
Giants
matter.
have nothing.
The Giants
Buffalo, Miami, that game's a stink burger. Baltimore, Minnesota, that game actually is in the Friday Five. Baltimore needs to win to keep the pressure on Pittsburgh. And Minnesota wins, they're 5-4. They're in the wild card chase. They lose, they're done.
By the way, if Minnesota wins 2 straight weeks against the Lions and a Lamar Jackson Baltimore Ravens, their confidence got to be flying sky high.
Worst game of the year, Cleveland, New York, Jets.
Yes, the Jets.
Can you get a worse game than that?
I can't think of one. Can you?
That's the worst. Cleveland, Jets. This version of the Jets.
Right, this version of the Jets is worse.
Maybe Miami. Put Miami in there. Saints.
I got to tell you, I think Miami might play that game a little close. I think Miami will make that game interesting because it's in Miami.
New Orleans, Carolina. Carolina needs the game to stay in the wild card.
New Orleans is bad.
Arizona, Seattle. Seattle has to win this game. You cannot slip up in this game. Not if you want to win that division.
And you know what? Brissett, he has played solid. Not great, but he's played solid enough to make the Cardinals competitive.
You keep in Detroit, Washington in there.
It's hard.
Washington's done.
Washington is cooked without Jaden Daniels. The good news is he doesn't need surgery now. But Detroit still needs to win this game in order to,
There are there's meaning in the game,
right,
but it's just not a game that I'm
excited about.
No, not as I was in the summertime. That was my number one game. You thought the NFC championship game, or remember, they played in the playoffs a year ago.
Correct.
So Rams, San Francisco is probably New England, Tampa would be one. No, Rams, San Francisco would be one.
Rams, San Francisco is one.
New England, Tampa
is
2. Pittsburgh, L.A. 3.
Hanging on by a thread.
Baltimore, Minnesota 4.
Definitely.
And I'll probably go Atlanta, Indianapolis.
Over Jacksonville, Houston?
Probably. Only because Atlanta, if they want to have any ideas of staying in the playoffs. Now, Jacksonville and Houston are in a similar boat. Houston would be the Atlanta in this spot.
Right. It's a must-win for Jacksonville and Houston.
Yeah. That's what we're going to go with.
By the way, did you know, Mike Gill, that Sauce Gardner will be playing his second international game this season?
How about that?
He played with the Jets over in London already, and now he's off to Berlin.
How many times? Well, it happened this year. I was going to say how many times that happened because Minnesota played their back-to-back weeks.
It's just funny that he's doing it for like a completely different team.
Quickly, Atlanta, Indianapolis, Indy 6.5. I kind of like the Colts in the bounce back here. Chicago 4.5.
I like the over in Chicago Giants more than the line.
Buffalo 8.5 on the road. You think Miami's going to hang in that game?
I do. Miami for some reason plays well at home in these weird matchups, and the Bills. Listen, last week, big game for the Bills.
And the week before that, they won 40-6.
Exactly. So do the Bills kind of look past the Dolphins a little bit?
Baltimore 4.5 on the road. Interesting.
It's a great game.
Cleveland 2.5 on the road.
Take the under.
Tampa Bay. The under's 37.5.
Take the under.
Jeez.
Did you watch the game last night?
Well, I will say, I'm glad you brought that up. I have a thought on that.
Really?
Yes.
Please share.
They need to get off Thursday Night Football and end it.
Ooh.
Move it to Friday night if you have to. I don't care about high school football, that whole thing. You want to go watch your kid play high school football, you're going to go watch your kid play high school football. You can play the high school football games like these idiots do in New Jersey at 6 o'clock. Nobody can go watch them.
Right.
So play 6 o'clock high school football games. Now, where they, like real places don't play high school football at 6 o'clock, though. That's the problem. They're not playing high school football at 6 o'clock in Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania. Like, you're playing a high school football game at 6 o'clock. They got playoff games in November. November 7th, they're in the second round of the playoffs. What are we doing? So it tells you the state doesn't care about the high school games. And guess what? Now I don't either. NFL Friday night. And I'm not even saying play the game at 7 or 7:30. Put it on at 8:30. The high school game starts at 6.
It'll be done.
By 8:30, that game is just about ending. You can get home to watch for the second quarter. They got to get off Thursday night and make it Friday night football. NFL, Friday nights, this whole thing with the high schools, it's over. Nobody cares anymore.
Well,
you want to go to a high school game? Mom and dad are still going to go watch the son play.
Yeah.
They're going to go to that game. They'll get home in time to watch the NFL game on Friday night.
Listen, I don't.
That's my take.
I don't think it's a bad take. I will only say this. It requires either amending or changing a law. And we know the state of this country when it comes to politicians. Somebody will ruin it.
That law's been together in place for
decades.
Yeah, since the 60s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just saying. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that law.
No. No one with common sense would have a problem with it. But we know we live in a world without common sense.
Gotcha. That's true. I do agree with that. Mike, you do this thing that bugs me a little bit. When you mention a matchup, you say the team as the city and the other team as the team. Cleveland Jets, Chicago Giants, Green Bay Eagles. It just sounds odd when you say it.
It doesn't faze me.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Well,
now, maybe that's my fault. Maybe it's because I'm around you every day.
Okay, if I said Cleveland, New York, Chicago, New York, then that guy would say, well, who are you talking about?
Right, the Jets or the Giants.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons.
Everyone knows who Green Bay is.
Right, but I think his point is he said you're saying the city for one team and then the moniker for the other team instead of both the city or both the moniker.
It doesn't bother me.
Why would that bother anybody?
I know what you're saying. That's how
I think he knows what I'm saying. He says it just sounds odd when you say it.
Tap you out on Friday. Have a drink. He'll be fine.
That's a good answer. Cole from LBI, move high school games to Thursday. That's a good idea.
I like that idea.
Well, they got to play games on Thursday now anyway because they don't have enough referees.
Exactly.
So some of the games are being played on Thursday. You know what you do? Go back to playing Saturday afternoon. I mean, really.
I mean,
the whole Friday night football thing. When you move the games to 6 o'clock, do they even turn the lights on? I mean, I guess now they do. But for half the season, you don't even need the lights.
It's golden hour.
That whole thing at 6 o'clock was the dumbest thing they ever could have done. No one has given me one positive or good reason other than the guy working at the school wants to get home
leave
earlier.
Early. Exactly.
Screw that guy. I'm not up for that guy.
Sorry,
guy,
buddy. That guy just doesn't want to be there, and he makes everybody else pay for it. And every parent complained about it, and they didn't care. They just
who complains about it? The refs, because they have real jobs and they have to get to the game. And now you have a ref shortage. Good job, everybody. Let's put our heads together and come up with another dumb idea.
I just remember when it first started, like the number of parents who would complain about it.
Oh, I have had more people complain about that than I said. You know what? I don't call games anymore because they're all at 6. I used to be able to call the games because they're at 7.
Right, you would do the show till 6, and then you drive over to where you're going.
So it's not for me. I don't care. But my people started complaining to me like I had anything to do with it.
Right, it's not your fault.
I said I would keep.
This is out of Mike Gill's control.
AJ from Courthouse. What law? There's a law that basically says and that's why AJ, if you remember, the Black Friday game is at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because that's outside of if there's any high school football games. So I don't know the exact wording.
So
if you remember, too, AJ, the Brazil game was on a Friday night.
Correct.
But that was before the high school season started.
Well, it was also outside the country. That was the other part of it as well. So Sal Paolantonio, who will have one at 5 o'clock today, touched on this.
I don't think the country matters. I think it has to do with the time of
I
the
thought
game.
it had to do with the country.
No, I don't think so.
But Sal Powell touched on this in his book, Why Football Explains America, that in the 1960s, there was a concern about overshadowing and having professional football and college football compete with high school football. Now, over time, the rule was kind of like modified, shall we call it, to allow for college football.
It's the 1961 Sports Broadcasting Act,
right,
which protects high school and college football by prohibiting the broadcast of professional games
football
on Friday nights and all day Saturday during the high school and college football season. It prevents NFL games from airing within 75 miles of a high school or a college between the second Friday in September and the second Saturday in December. So as soon as the college football season ends to that guy, you see the NFL goes to Saturday afternoons.
Correct.
They play those doubleheaders.
Right, because of that law.
The NFL is able to schedule occasional Friday games such as a Black Friday after Thanksgiving or the very first week of the season by scheduling them before 6 o'clock to avoid any possible conflicts.
Right.
It's the Sports Broadcasting
But
Act
the other part of it,
1961.
You just mentioned also it's a 75-mile radius. That was what I was talking about within the country.
There you go.
So again, Sal Powell could touch on this as well. He wrote about this a little bit in his book, How Football Explains America. It's a part of football history that this is in place. It was built to protect high school football.
Yes, and college football, apparently. That's why they don't play on Saturday.
Right.
Which I can understand that. You want Saturday to be Saturday, but the high school football thing, you could play Friday night, 8:30.
Yep.
The high schools, and even in other states where they play actual football at 7, they're done by 9:30. They can get home for halftime. You'll be okay.
Everything will be all right.
All right.
We don't need 10-7 games on Thursday Night Football.
Josh, can you verify that Sling TV or Fubo TV actually carry the game? If not, I might have to go the antenna route, $20 on Amazon.
Well, Sling TV and Fubo TV both have ESPN and ABC.
Yeah, Sling TV definitely does.
And I know Fubo
TV.
TV.
I don't know anything about.
Well,
but
Fubo does also because ESPN and Disney have a partial ownership of it.
Gotcha. But Sling TV is offering a $4.99 day pass.
Right.
Which I think they got sued for.
They did. All the other carriers sued them because they viewed it as undercutting.
Correct. So you can, and now the antenna thing's interesting because you could go get the antenna and stick it up on your roof and watch 6 ABC for the game.
Yeah, but how does that work with the modern TVs? Like, you need to get one of those like converter things. Because a lot of the TVs, it's like HDMI in the back.
Yeah.
HDMI. I mean, do you have a smart TV that has
I do.
The old plugins in the back?
I have a smart TV that has an antenna input.
Okay.
That you can, but
so that could work for you.
Yeah, so if I get an antenna, I could get the game on 6 ABC.
You just got to hope it's good weather.
And I got to hope that I watched, so it's funny, this guy says that. I actually went on YouTube, and there's a guy who has a whole YouTube channel. He's like the antenna man.
Okay.
And he's got like millions of subscribers.
Not surprising.
And he talks about how there's like cheap antennas. You have to get like a real antenna. You can't go to like Walmart or Amazon and order an antenna. He's like, basically, if it says that it goes over 75 miles, don't get that one. Because no antenna has enough power that you're buying at Amazon or Walmart to go further than 75 miles. Okay. Quentin from EHC, looking for the Pro Sports Bettors pick for the week. He was on already. He was 8-1. That was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
I don't remember what game he picked. Did I?
I can look it up.
You talk about Chuck. Yeah, Chuck was 9-1. By the way,
he was 9-1 coming into the week.
Hulu has ESPN. Yes, Hulu does.
Hulu
have ESPN.
plus live sports. Yes.
I just don't like the interface. And I'm not ready to like give up on YouTube. I'm hoping they can get this resolved, and I need it. Just for this Monday. The Monday Night Football game next week is Dallas and Vegas. So that's the equivalent of a high school game.
Right.
Panthers-Niners. I don't really care if I watch Panthers-Niners. Plus, the Sixers play next Monday, and the Flyers play the following Monday. So I'll just watch that. I don't need Monday Night Football for those games. The next Monday night after that, I'd have to see what that one is.
Yeah, I just want to bring in the caveat what I said to you earlier, which is you don't want to give up on YouTube TV. You're
I
happy
like
with
YouTube,
the service.
I like YouTube TV. I like the interface. I like all of it. By the way, the following Monday Night Football is Patriots-Giants. I don't need that game. The next week after that is the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
So they have till that game.
Till December.
To December the 8th, it would be the next time.
Correct.
That I would need to have it. After that, I mean, the Monday Night Football schedule this year is terrible. Dolphins, Steelers, don't need it for that game. San Francisco, Indianapolis, that turned into a better game, but I don't have to watch that game. I mean, I'm a hoop head, too. I'll watch college basketball. I'll watch NBA games. So if you're going to take the Monday Night Football games away from me, that's fine. I just need it for the games that I want to. I want to watch the Eagles game. You know what I mean? All right, Sports Bash Live 97.3 ESPN. When we come back, unsportsmanlike moment of the day, they had a good discussion this morning that I want to get into as well on the 2024 quarterback class. More Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. Matt Sickover says, I tried 2 different antennas with the Smart TV. I got 3, 10, 17, 29, no 6. Wow. So what are they? What are they, blocking ABC? What do you have YouTube TV, Matt? I wonder. All right, we do the unsportsmanlike moment of the day. It's coming up next.
It's Sixers basketball tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the Sixers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
Back to B.J. Double, a two-hand jam. B.J. Edgeko put on a highlight show in Brooklyn. He's made 2 threes and a two-hand flying stuff. Oh, yeah.
It's Sixers Raptors tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 7:30. It's Sixers basketball all season long on South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia 76ers basketball. 97.3 ESPN.
Imagine being the wizard of your own home. With Xfinity, intelligent self-healing Wi-Fi fixes problems like magic. It boostifies speeds to your devices when you need it most, and makes your favorite Wicked content sparklify on every screen. All while a spell of protection helps keep your family safe online. When you're out in Oz, Xfinity Mobile joins Wi-Fi and 5G to keep your phone connected from here to the Emerald City. If you had the most intelligent Wi-Fi from Xfinity, everything would work together for good. And now you can cast a spell to stop time and keep your internet bill steady for 5 whole years with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. No contracts or commitments with amazifying equipment included. Xfinity, imagine that. And see Wicked for good, only in theaters November 21st. Restrictions apply. Select plans only. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet.
Go for holiday bliss. Whether naughty or nice, you are not going to want to miss this. Go for nights that shine with friends a toast so fine. Go to find Santa's place. Go to see that smiling face. Go to give the gift of cheer with the card that brings dreams near. With endless fun and things to do, it is the gift that keeps on giving too. Go for the dazzling lights, it's quite a sight. Go to Ocean Casino Resort for holiday magic of every sort.
Going Jaden Daniels 1, although I know people are saying, hey, the injury stuff that we were worried about going into the pros starting to rear their heads right now. I would probably go Drake May 2, 6'5", built like an ox. Everything about him's great. He's just takes it all in, and I would probably take Caleb 3. And then I'm going, in some order, Nix, McCarthy, Penix. That's so fluid, that list I gave you. Like, Drake May is now the hot topic, so I'm going to put him too. But I could easily put him behind Caleb if Caleb has 3 great games. Like, all 3 of those guys, I think, are going to be 10-year starters in this league for these teams.
Unsportsmanlike moment of the day here on the Bash on a Friday. It's brought to you by Whitehorse RV Center. Find fall closeout savings on 2025s and select pre-owned RVs. Shop now before they go on Whitehorse RV. Your RV adventure starts here. All right, that was their redraft. He went with Jaden Daniels, May, then Caleb Williams. That was his 3. They, of course, went Williams, Jaden Daniels, May. How would you set up yours? By the way, Michael Penix went 8. If you're looking at quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, he went 10. Bo Nix went 12. That was all the quarterbacks taken in the first round. What's the redraft? Who would you have taken right now? Who are you taking 1 out of that group?
No explanation or no parameters.
Well, sure. I mean, you're going to take which guy 1, why?
I agree with him about Jaden Daniels. I think Daniels is a megastar franchise quarterback. It's not Daniels' fault that the Washington team is not invested in the offensive line enough.
I mean, yes, if there's no injury situation, Jaden Daniels would probably be the guy that I would go with. Closely, Drake May. He would be the second guy. It's between those 2. And you can make an argument that Caleb Williams wouldn't even be 3rd.
Who would you take instead of Caleb then?
I don't know. I mean, maybe Nix would be the other guy. I said you could make a case. I would probably go right now with Caleb Williams 3rd. Bo Nix would probably be the next guy. J.J. McCarthy probably be next. And then Michael Penix, I think, is probably the next guy after that.
So, the reason why I said the way I did is because I think a lot of this is we are seeing in the NFL today that these guys are hyper-dependent on who the coaches are around them.
Well, okay, let's ask this question. If Caleb Williams played – now he's with Ben Johnson. This is a good offensive mind.
Yeah.
But if he played in –
Minnesota?
J.J. McCarthy. If he was in Minnesota, would we think Caleb Williams was a lot different?
I think so. I think Kevin O'Connell has shown with his coaching that he has found a way to elevate quarterbacks. I mean, he made Josh Dobbs look serviceable.
Bo Nix, he's with Sean Payton. If Caleb Williams went to Denver.
The problem with that is I don't know if Caleb Williams and Payton would get along. I think Caleb Williams is a little bit too modern for Sean Payton's sensibilities.
So those quarterbacks went in the first round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of them went in the first round.
The next quarterback drafted was Spencer Rattler in the fifth round.
I'm certainly not putting him in there.
No. After that was Jordan Travis, then Joe Milton, who, by the way, was traded from the Patriots to the Cowboys. Then South Jersey's own Devin Leary, who's currently on the NFL unemployment line. And then the last quarterback drafted was Michael Pratt. You remember what school Michael Pratt went to, Mike?
No.
Michael Pratt went to Tulane. Very unmemorable.
I like Jaden Daniels and Drake May more than I like Caleb Williams. And back then, I liked Daniels more than I liked Caleb. I can't say that I liked May more than I liked Williams.
May was a bit of an unknown commodity because of the fact that you were like, well, he's at North Carolina. What does that really mean? You know, it was hard to judge a guy who played for a school where he was far and away the best player on the team.
Bo Nix is, of that group right now, the kind of the wild card. He showed you some flashes. He's better than I thought he was. Last night he was rotten.
Last night was rotten. And, they made a comment during the broadcast last night about how it was Herbstreit made the comments like, oh, Nix is having trouble reading this defense. And I'm thinking, the Raiders defense? He's having trouble reading the Raiders defense?
Yeah.
Like, what does that say?
It definitely is. And J.J. McCarthy, we just haven't seen enough of.
Oh, and really quick, did you notice, you might not have been watching when this happened last night, but there was a play in the third quarter, Mike, when they couldn't get the play in time before the mic got cut off in Nix's ear. And Nix is like, what's the play? And Sean Payton had to call a timeout because Nix didn't know how to improvise at the line without Sean Payton in his ear.
Yeah.
So, that kind of makes you wonder, is Nix maybe not as far along in his development as we thought?
So I would probably set it up one more time. Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Penix or McCarthy?
McCarthy. But, see, that's not fair of me to
Penix
say.
has a lot of weapons out there.
See, it's not fair of me to say that because I keep saying that these guys are dependent on the team that they're on. Okay, I do think Penix is a better quarterback at his core than McCarthy is. I think if you would put Penix with Ben Johnson or Kevin O'Connell or Josh McDaniel in New England, I think he would be better than he is in Atlanta.
I would tend to agree. All right, that's the redraft there. Top 6 QB prospects. This was back in 2024 when Chris Sims ranked him. He had Tier 1, Caleb Williams. Tier 2, Jaden Daniels. Tier 3, Nix, Penix, McCarthy. And Tier 4, Drake May.
That's a bad evaluation.
Well, they got drafted pretty much in that order. Tier 1, Caleb Williams. Tier 2,
but putting Drake May in the same as the other guys.
He didn't. He put Drake May in a tier by himself, Tier 4.
Oh, he put him in a – wait. So who was Tier 3 then?
Bo Nix, Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy.
So he had May below those guys?
He had him in Tier 4.
So that's poor.
Back then, you were saying you didn't think that he was all that good back then.
Well, no. I wouldn't say it wasn't good. I was saying the evaluation of him was difficult because he played for a team where he was far away the best player on the team. And you had no gauge for him in terms of competition.
I would go out on a limb and say that every one of these guys was probably the best player on their team.
Not Jaden Daniels. He played at LSU.
Maybe not Jaden Daniels, but everybody else.
Not J.J. McCarthy. He played at Michigan.
Yeah, well, who's a Michigan receiver that he had that's playing in the NFL?
I wasn't saying receiver.
For any of these guys.
Troy Franklin from Oregon. He's played with Bo Nix in Denver now.
They're playing together. He's probably become their number 1 wide receiver.
So
all
weird.
right, that's the Unsportsmanlike moment of the day. Good stuff from Peter Schrager, who was on Unsportsmanlike this morning on the Sports Bash Live 97.3 ESPN. All right, coming up, Andrew DeCecco has today's football at 4. We'll find out how he feels these trades will help out the Eagles as the Birds just stepping back out on the practice field. No Cam Jurgens at practice today, correct?
Cam Jurgens.
No Cam Jurgens at practice today. We got more Sports Bash coming up on 97.3 ESPN. But first, I need caller 7 right now. 609-573-3776. 609-573-3776. Caller number 7. You're entered for this year's 99 Bottles party at Maynard's in Margate. Caller 7, 609-573-3776. Be caller 7 right now, and you've already won. You're already a winner. Every single qualifier wins a pair of tickets. Could be a pair of tickets to go see an Eagles game, club box seats at Lincoln Financial Field. It could be a pair of tickets to see a Sixers game at Xfinity Mobile Arena, a Flyers game at Xfinity Mobile Arena. maybe a show, maybe a concert, maybe another game, maybe another event. 99 qualifiers, 99 winners, 99 pairs of tickets. Good luck. course, the Sports Bash football at 4. We take a look at the Eagles and the Packers, all the matchups that we're looking for. Do want to get Andrew's thoughts on the new look defense that has been assembled here, so let's bring him in on this Football Friday, Eagles-Packers edition. Andrew DeCecco, welcome back, friend. How are you?
I'm doing great, Mike. How are you, man?
All is good, and obviously getting ready. You know, the Eagles did not play last week, and now they're holding us off to Monday. This almost feels like you're getting ready for the first game of the season because they got some new players here. Let's get your thoughts on first Jalen Phillips and how he fits into this defense and what kind of role he might have almost immediately here and how he could change things.
Yeah, I really like the Eagles going after Jalen Phillips. That's the splashy trade edition, right? And he immediately comes in and headlines this group in the sense that he can play the run, he can play the pass. He's their most accomplished pass rusher behind only Brandon Graham, of course. And I think when you look at his, what the Eagles gave up to get him, you're going to want to try and get him involved as soon as possible, knowing that you only have a limited amount of time with him, including 9 games in the regular season, then whatever the postseason brings. So I would imagine that he is going to have some sort of a role on Monday night when the Eagles play the Packers. And then let's not forget that Nolan Smith could soon be returning, and they're going to have Brandon Graham as well. So it's a new-look pass rush to help what I believe will be a new-look secondary as well.
Yeah, and I want to get your thoughts on Jalen Phillips, and not to compare him to Josh Sweat or anything, but like that level of impact, like is he a steady kind of guy, or do you think he can actually have a bigger impact than a player like Sweat did, who's not like an elite pass rusher? He was more of like a 6 to 8 sack kind of guy. You think Jalen Phillips can actually be a bigger impact than what Josh Sweat was?
Yeah, well, you never want to get too carried away until you see the product on the field, of course, but I think Jalen Phillips even mentioned yesterday that, there is going to be an adjustment period. It's been nearly 2 years since he's been in Vic Fangio's system, and he's doing whatever he can right now to make sure that he's remaining diligent in learning the playbook and acquainting himself with teammates. But I think when he is integrated fully, you're going to see a player that I think can be a disruptive force off the edge. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know that I want to put a number on how many sacks that he can provide, but this is a noticeable addition that I think is going to make his presence felt pretty early. I love the addition. And for him, it's been the injuries that have hindered his progress. He had the Achilles in 23. Howie Roseman mentioned that happened on the MetLife Stadium turf, and then the ACL in 2024 that sidelined him. He played in only 4 games that year. Howie Roseman also mentioned that happened to do with friendly fire with the teammates. So the Eagles obviously did a lot of, investigating as to what was causing those injuries and before they made that trade. So I think that now that he's healthy, he's excited to get to be in Philadelphia. He was very eager. I wrote a story on InsideTheBirds.com about that, called it one of the best things that's ever happened to him, probably. Yeah. And I think that shows you that he's ready to turn the page and start this new chapter here in Philadelphia.
On that, you talked about Howie doing the backgrounds. He said the other day, and let's turn our attention to Jair Alexander. He said sometimes you kind of get information or buy information. It was almost like he's getting, like calling a tout, getting information for a gambling game here, right? Like he got information from Baltimore. I know Alexander spoke yesterday. He kind of seemed like, they wanted to play some other guys. I'm healthy. Do you think that Jair Alexander can factor in and help this defense?
Perhaps, but I don't know that it'll be immediately. In fact, I would imagine that it would be Keely Ringo who would start Monday night when the Eagles play the Packers, simply because it typically takes a little bit of time for a player that plays that position to be able to master all of the different intricacies of Vic Fangio's defense. There's cities there that have to be taken into account. Now, do I envision a scenario where Jair Alexander could end up being the cornerback 2 down the line here, down the stretch? I do, but a lot has to play out first because you don't quite know what player you're getting. This is someone who played 2 games, 61 snaps for the Ravens, and was a healthy scratch for 5 games. There was a game where they were down heavily at corner, and he still couldn't factor into their plans. Now, it could be something to the extent of maybe he just simply wasn't a scheme fit there. He talked yesterday about other players, them giving other players an opportunity. But the sense that I got from hearing what he had to say is that he's looking at this as a fresh start, a new opportunity to almost approach it with a chip on his shoulder to go out there and and prove himself once again. And he did talk about Christian Parker, the Eagles defensive backs coach. Met with him. He said he met with CP about 5 times a day since he's been with the Eagles. So he's like, he's almost become like my best friend. So I think that they're doing everything that they can on their end to make sure that he's getting up to speed as quickly as possible. And he's kind of, when I look at the acquisitions that they got, Mike, he's the one that I'm most curious to see because he did play at such a high level, but that was 3 years ago. We'll see if they're able to rekindle some of that, some semblance of the player that he was back in 2022.
All right, Andrew Checo, Football at 4. Also, Howie Roseman speaking the other day, talking about Michael Carter, and player. He called him an elite cover player. And I'm wondering, that's interesting. If you think you have an elite guy, I find like you want to find a way to get that guy on the field. Did that comment stand out to you? And does that, hey, we got a player that we think is an elite player that could do slot, which means we feel pretty comfortable moving our other elite player out to a different role. What did you make of that?
Yeah, to me, that was a little bit strong. There was a point in time where he was a very sticky nickel corner. In fact, he was once the highest paid nickel corner in football, if I'm correct on that. So he was viewed in that mold, in that class that Cooper DeJean is looked at right now. But you have to look at the here and now, and he hasn't necessarily lived up to his previous billing. And maybe he can redefine himself a little bit here in Philadelphia. Sometimes the environment and the system that you're in, you just need a fresh start. I like his versatility. He can play nickel. He can play safety. I kind of view him in the mold of an Avonte Maddox and how they may utilize him there. And he does have experience with Joe Casper, the Eagles safeties coach. He overlapped with him at Duke University when Joe Casper was a defensive assistant, or graduate assistant, excuse me. And then, of course, there's the familiarity with Joe Douglas, who was with the Jets. Now he's with the Eagles, of course, in a different capacity. So they know the player, they're familiar with him, and that counts for something. I do believe that he will probably factor earlier into the Eagles' defensive plans than, let's say, a Jair Alexander.
Let me get your thoughts then on what happens with Jahad Campbell here, Andrew. I'm a little interested and intrigued what you think. Obviously, you got Dean. Campbell's been getting some edge snaps, some, not full, but that's where they've been kind of getting him some playing time. What happens in that situation?
Yeah, it's a great question, Mike, and one of my top storylines for this second half of the season. How are the Eagles going to distribute the snaps with Nakobe Dean and Jahad Campbell? Because Jahad Campbell right now is going to have to be, one would think, exclusively an off-ball linebacker, knowing how many bodies they now have at edge, and he leads a lot of work at edge. That's not his position of trade right now. He's been focusing and making tangible strides at off-ball linebacker. So I don't think if you're the Eagles that you want to deprive him of snaps and opportunities to continue to grow. He's had a lot of bright moments this year. That's not to say that you can't find a way to work Nakobe Dean in situationally as maybe a run defender for teams that are run heavy. I think that he has a certain role. He brings a lot of swagger and juice. Zone setter. Vic Fangio is a big Nakobe Dean fan, and I think that there's a place for both players, but I don't know that you want to incorporate Nakobe Dean at the expense of the growth and development of Jahad Campbell. And this is a game, the Green Bay Packers I'm talking about, that you would think would lend itself to seeing a lot more Jahad Campbell, knowing how the Packers like to spread teams out, and you might need a better athlete on the field who has more range. And I do think you're going to see more Jahad Campbell, certainly more than you saw against the New York Giants.
So these two teams played twice last year, opening day in Brazil, and then obviously in a playoff game. Do you expect a similar style and feel to these games, or are these two teams different from the ones we saw play each other last year twice?
Yeah, different faces, as I think A.J. Brown said yesterday. But, they're vulnerable against the run. I think this is going to be another game in which they try to get Saquon Barkley going early. We all know that foundationally that's what the Eagles hang their hat on. I think they may have unlocked something against the Giants in terms of finding different ways to get that running game on track. They're too talented of a team, too talented of an offensive line to struggle in the way that they were. And I think that will be their approach. But when they do take to the air, and I am expecting a balanced attack to be clear, I think Kevin Patullo starting to find his stride as a play caller. They have two beatable corners on the outside in Nate Hobbs and Keyshawn Nixon. Nixon I really like as a kick returner. I think he's a good number 2. But Nate Hobbs I'm expecting to get picked on, and this should be another game where A.J. Brown feasts. And A.J. Brown, by the way, was at practice the first day this week, and so all looks to be well with the hamstring.
Yep, full practice. He was listed yesterday, and obviously the game stuff will be coming out on Monday. We'll have we'll get a feel for what they were actually. I guess the designations will be out on Sunday. But yesterday's practice report: A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, Ja'Cory Bennett. Good to see him. Willie Lampkin, another interesting name as a full participant. Who's a guard, center, interior. So keep an eye on that situation as well. But you look at the offense, they had two guys rush for 100 yards last week, or 2 weeks ago, obviously. They finally got – that was the best we saw the run game going. Did they do anything different? Did they make any tweaks, or did they just happen to kind of get the offensive line flowing for the first time all year?
Well, I mean, they got some, Kevin Patullo got creative. They were doing, with some of the run designs, they did some more outside runs, which is they were just hammering home that inside zone for so long to start the season, and it clearly wasn't being very effective. And I also think that having a center in Brett Toth, who is healthy, goes a long way here. He was able to get to the second level and do some nice things with those reach blocks, those pin and pulls. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot that goes into it. Landon Dickerson looks like that looked to be his best game by a pretty wide margin this season, and I think the bye week is only going to help players like Landon Dickerson and, Cam Jurgens we'll have to wait and see about. But Jordan Mailata, some of the players who have been, nicked a little bit this season, I think that's going to help them. And this is the backstretch of the season is where I'm really expecting the Eagles' rushing attack to start to take shape. And I do believe that when Jordan Mailata kept saying, Mike, that they were a hair off, I know that there were some who may have rolled their eyes and said, "Oh yeah, my eyes are telling me something different." But I believe that he was correct on that, and that I think against the Giants proved it. Just one game, granted, but just getting things going. That 65-yard touchdown run seemed to really get that momentum rolling forward, knowing that they can do it. They do have that in them. They didn't lose that. And I think that's something they can use as a springboard moving forward.
I agree. That first run was almost as if like they were like, all right, we're back. Let's go. Like you get that confidence as an offensive line and you start rocking and rolling again really quickly. Yeah. Last one for you, Andrew. We'll get you out on this. Underlooked, under-discussed, but I thought the return game helped them out too the last couple of weeks. They're getting much better returns from the kick guys, and that's changing the dynamics of where they're starting.
I love this question, Mike. You always have a good knack for asking me things that are sometimes a little off the beaten path, so I don't talk about it as enough. And the return game, you want to talk about the juice that Will Shipley has. He had a 41-yarder, I believe a 33-yarder. Sometimes you take those things for granted, but when you look at the poor field position for so much of the season, whether you're putting Tank Bigsby out there, who's grossly miscast as a kick returner, John Mechie, A.J. Dillon. But when you have someone back there, a healthy Will Shipley who just gets upfield, he has a good feel for space, and then Xavier Gipson. So you're pairing Will Shipley and Xavier Gipson. I think they have the right formula there. Xavier Gipson was acquired off waivers about a month ago from the Jets, and he was inactive for a while. I think there were a lot of folks that were kind of scratching their head, why claim this guy if you don't have any plans to use him? He made a notable impact in the return game. And also as a punt returner, he had a 17-yarder. That may be the longest punt return of the season for the Eagles, and that was his first return as an Eagles punt returner. If I'm the Eagles, Mike, I'm sticking with Xavier Gipson as your punt returner, and maybe reprieving Jahan Dotson from that role, because to me it doesn't look like he's overly comfortable with doing it.
All right, well, we'll see the game, of course. We don't have a Sunday of Eagle football, but we will have Monday night, another day to kind of break this one down. But it's a fun game. Packers, of course, coming off that loss, and the Eagles coming off of a bye. You can listen to the game right here on 97.3 ESPN. Get more coverage from the Inside the Birds guys over at InsideTheBirds.com, and check out the Inside the Birds podcast. That is Andrew DeCecco. This has been Football at 4. Andrew, have a great weekend, man.
You too, Mike. Take care, man.
Always good to catch up with Andrew DeCecco. Love the breakdowns that he gives us here. In-depth stuff, really good. As always, Football at 4 here, powered by the Inside the Birds podcast. It's brought to you by Ocean Casino Resort, the Fanatics Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort. And right now, by the way, we're talking about this Eagle game, the line on the game. It was 2.5. I think yesterday when we had Nadu on, he actually likes Green Bay, and it was 1.5 was the number. So that number has moved a little bit. Why? We talked about it. That's a Packer line. They're dying for you to take the Eagles in this game. And we had Nadu on yesterday. He likes the Packers in this game. And Ross Tucker talked about it back there in the 3 o'clock hour. Ross said, look, you get upset like that at home, you generally don't lose like that twice in a row. Line is 1.5. So money going towards Eagles right now. In fact, right now, take a look where that money is hanging. 80% on the money line towards Philly, 77% on the spread on Philly, 76% likes the over in the game. So you see the amount of money, it's all going Philly. That's a Packer line if you like to go that way. I don't want to recommend anybody betting the Packers in this situation. We'll do game balls and picks coming up on Monday's show. Don't forget Austin Krell from On Pattison covers the Sixers. He's going to be joining us coming up here in just a couple of minutes as well. By the way, Sixers tomorrow back-to-back, Josh. They're going throwbacks with the 0-1 team. First time all season.
I'm excited.
Yeah?
Get
excited.
I'm a fan of those black unis.
Yeah, it makes me think of when I was in West Virginia. That was like what I was rocking down there, the old Sixer blacks, Iverson errors. That's what they're going to wear. Have you watched the Iverson doc yet?
I have not.
I by the way, I'm glad I just brought that up. I was going to look at the Iverson doc last night after that football game was so bad I got out. After the Flyer game ended, I was looking for something to watch. You know what I ended up on? The Roku channel. Okay? The Roku channel did a 1.5-hour documentary behind the scenes of the NFL draft in 2023 and 2024.
I'll have to look that up.
I only watched the first 15 or 20 minutes because I ended up getting tired and ended up going into to fall asleep. Well, I had to get up this morning. I picked my girlfriend up at the airport this morning at 7:30, so I had to get up pretty early. So I was like, I'm getting kind of tired. I'll watch this. But I was just kind of navigating. You know what I was doing? I was looking to see if I could find a back channel to get the football game on Monday night. So I went to Roku channel. I went to Tubi.
You tried Pluto TV?
I went to Pluto. I went to Amazon Prime has live TV channels, but they're all just fast channels. None of them are actual. You know what? Somebody does have 6 ABC, but it's just the news. They just play the news on repeat.
I've seen that. Yep.
Yeah, I'm like, you got 6 ABC? I'm like, yes. It's just the news on repeat.
On repeat.
Yeah.
They have an NBC version of that too, I've seen.
Yeah, no, all the 3, 6, and 10. They have the news is just on all day long.
And now the news.
Well, so I was going through the Roku channel, and I saw this documentary, and it's behind the scenes of 4 teams. Dallas, Carolina, Indianapolis, and who's the 4th team? Jacksonville.
Okay.
Jacksonville. It goes behind the scenes inside the draft room. I'm going back to they have 2023, and they have 2024.
Interesting.
Yeah. Definitely got to check that out. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but Tony Khan, who is the Jacksonville Suns owner.
Right. Shad's the owner. Yeah. Tony's the son.
But he's the guy who runs AEW Wrestling, and he talked about how he does all their analytics. He's heavy in on their draft process.
Wow.
Yeah, and he says, I'm a part of 3 different organizations. I do Jacksonville. I do some soccer team that they're owners of, and he says AEW Wrestling. He said, but here we had no analytics department, and I started the analytics department, and I'm heavy involved. He is heavily involved on draft day.
Can I just say how weird it sounds for a guy to say we didn't have an analytics department? I felt like
I built it from the ground up, he said.
I feel like I just assumed that every team already had one.
Well, when did Khan take over? I mean, they've been there for 10 years.
That's true.
So it's not that long ago. Sports Bash is live, 97.3 ESPN. Our old buddy Austin Krell, formerly of 97.3 ESPN.com, he moved on to bigger and better things. He's covering the Sixers now for On Pattison.
But he didn't forget us.
No, he did not forget us. And he's going to join us to give us some insight on this Sixers team. They got back-to-backs this weekend. You can listen to both games on 97.3 ESPN. We've got the Sixers and the Raptors. That game's on Saturday night at 7:30. And on Sunday night at 7:30, over on Rock 104.1, it'll be Sixers and the Pistons. Pistons, really good team, by the way. So we'll talk to Austin about his early impressions of this Sixers team. And that's coming up next, right here on the Sports Bash, live on 97.3 ESPN.
With Black Friday savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to 40% off, plus up to an extra $1,000 off select innovative appliances like GE Profile. Add a touch of ease to your holiday with the all-in-one combo to wash and dry your laundry in one machine. And refrigerators with built-in convenient features like the dual dispense autofill water pitcher. Shop Black Friday savings on select GE Profile appliances, plus get free delivery now at the Home Depot. Free delivery on appliance purchases of $396 or more. Offer valid 11/5 through 12/3. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Get your game on at the Fanatic Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com.
The 2-1 lead on Noah Cates' 4th of the season.
Tim Saunders with the call as the Flyers defeat Nashville 3-1 at Bridgestone Arena Thursday night, and Philadelphia wraps up the 2-game road trip. Philadelphia has now won back-to-back games in 5 of their last 7. They'll host Ottawa Saturday. Sixers return home Saturday, hosting the Toronto Raptors, starting a 3-game homestand. Philadelphia losing back-to-back games after falling to Cleveland on Wednesday night, a game that was played without Joel Embiid and Jared McCain. The Eagles head to Lambeau Field Monday night to meet the Green Bay Packers. It's a rematch of last year's wild card playoff game. Eagles are 6-2, back from their bye week. The Packers are 5-2-1. New defensive lineman Jalen Phillips expected to play for the Eagles. The Packers will be without tight end Tucker Kraft. Progressive is helping veterans drive their lives forward with its Keys to Progress program online at keystoprogress.com. I'm Tony Desiri, and that's your Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN.
Hey man, thanks for coming so fast. I couldn't get anyone else to pick up.
Yeah, it's been a busy week. I'm not complaining though. Business is way up lately.
Wow, good for you. I've been trying to grow my accounting practice, but it's been pretty slow.
Yeah, I was in the same boat last year. What really helped me was checking out this site, mylocalcustomers.com.
Never heard of it.
Well, most people haven't. It gives you a look at how many people in town are searching for what you do, and it also provides a plan to help them actually find you.
Like online?
Exactly. It's eye-opening, and it only takes a couple minutes to get started.
Huh. Well, you fixed my sink. Maybe you just fixed my business too.
Want to know how many people in your area are searching for your type of business? Start with a local customer analysis at mylocalcustomers.com. It's quick, it's easy, and it's free. Go to mylocalcustomers.com today.
That's mylocalcustomers.com. mylocalcustomers.com.
Good afternoon with your South Jersey weather forecast. I'm Joe Kelly. We've been enjoying a pretty nice day here in South Jersey. We're going to see some clouds move in tonight. Some showers are possible, even thunderstorms, especially late in the night. Tonight's low about 56. Tomorrow, partly sunny and 67. Not too bad. But Sunday, yikes. Looks like rain showers likely on Sunday with a high of 67. Peeking ahead, Tuesday, we probably won't get out of the 40s for a high. Yikes. That's your South Jersey weather. I'm Joe Kelly.
New Jersey, we got a lot of wow to go around all year round. Loop-de-loop wows. Face-to-face with a hippo wows. Catch of the day wows. And catching a wave wows. It's one wow after another here, any time of year. Find your wow at visitnj.org. New Jersey, Little state, lot of wow.
It's the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Keeping the fans entertained and happy.
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right, 427, looking for a fun weekend. Little Sixers back-to-back, Saturday, Sunday. Don't forget Blue Coats tomorrow. I'll be on the call, 1 o'clock, CW 57. But Sixers tomorrow night as they take on the Raptors on the front end of the back-to-back, then the Pistons on Sunday. Saturday night's game is on 97.3 ESPN. Sunday's game will be on Rock 104.1. And there's Austin Krell. On Pattison is back on the Sports Bash. She covers the Sixers. Well, Austin, it was a fun start. Is the fun over? Is there enough cracks in the armor to think that they're going to struggle? And this is going to be, there was a lot of positive vibes. Are the positive vibes starting to go away a little bit? What's your take on the first 8 games of this season?
Mike, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for having me. I would say that it was a very hot start. There were some things in there that were probably not sustainable, like the margin of victory every night was very close. They won first game of the season by 1, second game by 3, and so on and so forth. And, they had to fight back against Boston, against Washington, against Cleveland. So there are definitely some things in there that would lend you to believe they were playing a little bit over their heads early on. But by the same token, you would expect Joel to get better. You would expect Jared McCain to get a little bit more comfortable and acclimated to the offense. You would expect Paul George to come back. I think this team, I thought from the start, as long as they were healthy, this team was kind of a sleeper team in the East. They had a chance to be pretty good. Edgecombe has obviously been a revelation of sorts for them. And I think as long as you have those 4 guards, you're probably going to have one of the 2 or 3 best backcourts in the NBA. And if you're playing 2 or 3 of those guys together at once, you have an opportunity to make an offense that is really dynamic out of that core.
All right, you said you would expect Joel to get better. A lot of people are not. Why do we think that Joel, and I do agree, I think Joel's just kind of trying to find his way, trying to get his legs under him. He's got to try to fit into this new look offense. It seems to be more centered around the guards than him. Defensively, he's had his issues. Why do you expect Joel to get better?
I think he's done enough of the forceful things on offense. Like he is barreling down the lane like he used to, and he is attacking closeouts. He is stepping around people in the paint. He's applying his strength, and so I think that if he's willing to do that on offense, it would say in theory that he should be willing to do that on defense. It's just a matter of him getting comfortable with doing it. And so I think it'll take some time for sure. And I recognize that it has taken some time to be sure. But I think as this season goes on, as he starts to do more and more things and push his body a little bit, push the knee a little bit, he will get more comfortable with trying things that he isn't really trying right now. I think even right at this moment, he is starting to get a little bit more competitive on defense and make plays at the rim. Saw that in the Chicago game. I do think the minute restriction is something that's a pretty severe limitation for him at the moment. I think the Chicago loss was a very good example of that. Like Joel did not make great decisions down the stretch of that game. But I do think it's a difficult task when the guy has been sitting on the bench for 12 minutes straight, and then you ask him to come in with 5 minutes left in a tight game and just play closeout. I think that's easy for us to look at from outside and say like Joel couldn't get it done, and it is true he didn't get it done. But I also think that if maybe you put him back in with 8 minutes left, or if you extend his minute restriction to 30 minutes, maybe he has more rhythm in that moment and maybe he closes it out. So I think once he's playing a more normal minute load, more normal minute rotation, he will get more comfortable and you'll see more out of him.
Well, obviously, the follow-up would be, when will that be? How long is this minute restriction? I don't think that we really have that answer, but is there an anticipation of like, hey, they want him to kind of play 25 minutes for a month, 2 months, all-star break? Any feel on that?
Well, I will say that they've largely given the same answer, like it's the same minutes restriction every time we ask about it, and then it'll be like one night it'll be 20 minutes, and then the next night be like, well, he's playing 2 more minutes than he did last game, and then it's 25 minutes, and then suddenly it's 25 minutes 2 nights in a row. So they've already raised the minute restriction by a minute, by a couple of minutes since the start of the season to now. I would certainly say that it should go up a little bit as time goes on. Do I think that there's a scenario where they want him playing 35, 40 minutes consistently? No. I think they would like to get him his normal workload, keep that at probably low 30s, and then trust more in their backups. I do think that one of the factors in all of this is how good can the guards be. If they, when Nurse's first year on the job, early on, they were blowing teams out by the start of the fourth quarter, and with the first 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, and Joel was resting the rest of the night because the game was already over. So if he's played 27 minutes, but the Tyrese and company comes in the late third, early fourth, and they extend a 12-point lead to 20, you might not see him again. So I think it's very much like a play it by ear, but for the meantime, we're going to inch him along slowly.
Well, it's like, you're probably hearing this too, Austin. People are like, they're better without Joel right now. Like the other night, you're shaking your head no and kind of smiling. But the other night, like I said, okay, listen, he went out of the game at 5:39 in the third. They're up 19. He sat out, and they brought him back with 5:22 left in the game. They're only up 7. Now, I don't think he played very well when he did return to the game, but you also sat him out for 40 minutes of just sitting there doing nothing. Like, hey, Joel, let's go. Well, now we need you. And then they used him in a way that they haven't really used him all season. Like, hey, get down in the post and kind of one-on-one, two-man game in it with it was just an awkward, like, weird stretch that they kind of went to him there. But he helped build the lead to 19 when they take him out, and then the game's only 7. So are they better without Joel? They're obviously more up and down. They're more fun. Are they more fun, or are they better?
We can't conflate more fun with better. I mean, I think they're a more pleasing basketball team when they're running more. There's more 3-point shooting. There's more excitement. There's more dunking, that type of thing when they're playing a more transition-based game. But also, like, the reality is that they're smaller, especially without Paul George and without Dominic Barlow. And so that means that, your only way of really getting stops is to be excellent in your rotations or really pressure on the perimeter and create deflections. And that's not something that's sustainable long term. Teams are going to be bigger. They're going to shoot over you. So while there might be a night here and there where they look better without Joel, if you were to remove Joel from the equation entirely, they would have very clear limitations against good teams and big teams. And I get that people want to move on from a lot of people want to move on from the Joel phase. They see a more limited player at the moment. I would say the grass is not always greener.
Well, I would agree to the most part. I'm willing to say, I keep saying with Joel, and let's see what he looks like in March. Let's see what this down the stretch when the games are intense and picking up. Let's see what he looks like in those minutes there. I did not have a lot of anticipation for Paul George this season. I was kind of like, whatever, Paul George. Should I have more anticipation? Will he be a good fit with what we're seeing?
I think so. He is a forward, number one, and they do not have many forwards. They've constructed a team that is largely very big and then also very small. So they need some people in the middle that are not big or small, just kind of forward sized. And Paul would represent one of the few that they have. I think he's older, as we all know. We'll see what the knee can do and what the limitations in terms of minutes are on him. But that's another dynamic shooter for you. I would almost I can't guarantee, but I would say it's very logical to expect him to have a bounce back year because he just missed a lot of open threes last season that just were atypical of him historically. So if he's if he's running the floor, he's getting open threes, I would expect the guy who can give you an efficient 16 to 20 and will help you keep him more
That's all they
active.
really need, though, right? I mean, they don't
Right.
need him to be Paul George 26 point a game. 16 to 20 is a number that I think you can live with.
Yeah, and I think also like they just need someone who can create, open court opportunities with his hands and deflect passes and whatnot and jar the ball away. And I think that he is one of the guys that has size to do that. So I think when you add him back into the mix, maybe he's not in his box score. Maybe he's not in his box score, not having the most robust game, but he's contributing to the overall scheme that you're trying to deliver, which is, you're getting out and running. Well, Paul George is helping get stops on defense to do that. And that's enabled Tyrese and whatnot.
We're talking with Austin Krell. You can follow him at NBA Krell on the old Twitter X platform. His stuff is over at onpattison.com. They do a great job on all the sports teams. Sixers for Austin here. So what do we make of McCain's fit with these? They got 3 guards, all scoring. They're playing a lot of minutes. McCain's back. He only played 15, obviously made basically no impact. But I love what McCain brought to this team last year. I said the other day, you got 15 points a game from him, 16 last year from George. That's 31 points a game, kind of needs to find a spot in this lineup. What should I expect from McCain's role?
I think at the moment he is – just because he's behind everyone else who has been, playing more. I would expect that he will come off the bench for at least the foreseeable future. But I mean, you can never have enough ball handling and good decision making out of your backcourt. I mean, teams get to the finals because they have guys who can shoot, dribble, and pass and make good decisions. And that seems to withstand the test of size and and whatnot. So I think if as long as McCain is healthy, he's making shots. It's just another big time shooter on the floor. And people will say like big time shooter, like what did he do last season? Like that dude was the only reason to tune in when they were in the first 20 games of the year. He was making a lot of shots. His ability and understanding of where to relocate on the floor was excellent. So I think he helps Tyrese Maxey get his minutes down a little bit and keep him fresher. Gets more ball handling in that second unit, doesn't put as much pressure on Quentin Grimes to do all the work. And then suddenly you have a very balanced first and second attack. And by the time we get to December, January, it would not, is assuming that they can achieve health. It would not surprise me if night to night basis, it's like the trend is they're just crushing teams because no team is going to have the depth at guard to, once their big guys go out to sustain that in the second unit, and the Sixers are going to have that.
Well, that's a word, crushing teams. I like to hear that. We'll see what ends up happening. Tough back-to-back coming up here. Toronto, decent team. Pistons, really good team. I don't know what Joel's availability will be. Did they say when he's going to play? Is it going to be tomorrow or Sunday? Is that not revealed yet?
I would anticipate it would be Saturday because that is the first night of the new classic uniforms, and I would think they would want to have Joel available for that. That's also, I think, one of the big matchups for because Toronto was part of their big playoff run back 2001. So I think this is one of those true celebratory games that they're going to have this season. I would think it would be that game, and then he's probably off Sunday. But we shall see.
So you wrote about this over at On Pattison the other day. What is the makeup of the backup center spot here? Because if you put all 3 of them together, you got Joel who can score, Drummond rebounds, Bona alters and blocks shots. How do they put this triangle to work?
Well, they could start by putting Bona on Drummond's shoulders. That might help a little bit, just in terms of the rim protection and whatnot. I think the dilemma they have is one that they've always had, and I think we have to come to accept that when you are a very good backup center, because there are just not that many of people of that size in this game, those good ones get promoted to starting position, whether that be, Isaiah Hartenstein leaves New York and goes to OKC, what have you. And so I think you're going to always have this dilemma of we have 2 guys that can feasibly fill in the spot. Bona has more athleticism and can block more shots, protect the rim. He also is not a great rebounder because he's always trying to block shots that he can't get to. neither he nor Drummond has great hands, but Drummond might be slightly better. Drummond can't guard in space, but he can defend the rim a little bit better, I guess. So I think that they're constantly going to be chasing who is the guy on a nightly basis to do this. And some nights they'll go with Dom Barlow as a small ball 5. They might go Trenton Watford as a small ball 5. But I think if we're looking for the perfect backup 5, it's going to be the same thing we've always said, that like they still don't have one. And I don't think they're going to have one because you just don't have them for very long.
I'm a big Trenton Watford fan. I think he will fit in very, very well, especially when George is back. I actually would play, and this is no slight to Kelly, who's been awesome, but I think the 5 should be VJ, Maxey, Watford, George, Embiid. I like Watford as kind of like the glue guy for all of the other guys around him.
Yeah, I think at his size, the passing that he provides and just like the ability,
he's very good.
He's kind of a Draymond-esque offensive player where the shooting is never going to be dynamite, but he's very good at getting the ball and then saying, like, I got to apply pressure on this defense. And then he gets into the lane, cracks the interior, and teams are rotating because they're scrambling, and then he's finding the open guy. He did a lot of that against Brooklyn, did that against Chicago. I think his chemistry with Tyrese is obviously awesome. I think it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up being a starter on this team. I do think it would require VJ Edgecombe to have a significant drop-off, and perhaps that is possible because he's a rookie and he will probably hit a wall at some point, especially on his minutes load.
Like the second half of the back-to-back the other night.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, exactly.
Poor
right.
VJ looked like he had run out of gas already.
This kid has no juice left in his legs. So, it could be something where they're starting George and Trendon together, and maybe Kelly slides down, or maybe Kelly slides out. But I would agree with you. I think there's a scenario where he outplays the starting 4, because the reality is Jabari Walker has not been as good as Trendon Watford has been, and you could argue like they do need some of that offensive creativity off the bench, and they do. And he's been good there, but the talent is a talent.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I mean, it's a rough schedule here. The back-to-backs on Tuesday, Wednesday. Cleveland's hadn't played since Sunday, so they're fresh as a daisy playing at home, and now you got back-to-backs again. This is like the third set of back-to-backs already, and we haven't played a month of basketball yet. So a team that was 5-1, and really, I mean, they got to win that Chicago game. That's an awful loss. What did you think of them playing those guys as many minutes the other night? Now, they had 2 days off in a row. Is he saying, hey, they got 2 days off, they can kind of, does he really think they can get back in the game? Like, what's the messaging there? What's he trying to do?
So Nick has said from like the very first day of the season, it's kind of like the mantra. We have to dig ourselves out of the hole we created last season. And I guess what that means is they're trying to rebuild a fractured culture or a fractured perception of themselves. And so to him, that means like stretching your starters to play deep into games that are already decided, just to build toughness and culture and chemistry. I do think it is too early in the season for those guys to be playing all those minutes. I mean, that game was very clearly over, and it was. And that was like I was thinking like to do this the same week that Dan Quinn leaves Jaden McDaniels in the game too long, and then he, has the arm injury.
You're on a back-to-back, and then you have another back-to-back.
Yeah. I also could see a scenario where like your star player is like, I'm not subbing out. Like I want to see this out. And I think that probably happens more than we realize it does. And the coach is not in an easy spot there, but Nick should take control of that and be like,
yeah,
this is just not necessary.
He's Austin Krell. Sixers tomorrow night right here on 97.3 ESPN. Sunday night, they'll be over on Rock 104.1 on a football Sunday. Both games, 7:30 tips. Late nights over at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. Austin Krell on Patterson. Check him out at NBA Krell. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, too. And if you find out where the game on Monday night is, let me know so I can get that illegal stream as well.
I got a lot of people texting in a lot of different options. I'll send them over to you, all right?
Appreciate it, Mike. See ya.
I'm going Sling TV $4.99 day pass is the one that I'm checking out. It looks like so far. Now, I have had a lot of listeners send me some nefarious sites, it looks like. Are you trying to give me viruses, or do these things actually work is what I want to know. Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. Hey, we got a 99 bottles cue to call coming up in just a couple of moments. Don't forget that. Plus, in the 5 o'clock hour, Sal Palantonio. It's a Sal Pal Friday here on the Sports Bash.
It's Sixers basketball tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the Sixers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
Back to B.J. Double, a two-hand jam. B.J. Edgecombe put on a highlight show in Brooklyn. He's made 2 threes and a two-hand flying stuff. Oh, yeah.
It's Sixers Raptors tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 7:30. It's Sixers basketball all season long on South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia 76ers basketball. 97.3 ESPN.
Boxing Insider Promotions brings their next action-packed event to Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City on Friday, November 7th. Don't miss out on the return of undefeated super welterweight Justin Figueroa after winning the NABF title this summer. Plus the homecoming fight for Holy Spirit High School graduate undefeated heavyweight boxer Josh Popper. The stacked boxing card includes undefeated South Jersey boxers Bruce Selden Jr. and Leah Lewandowski, plus internationally top-ranked heavyweight Otto Whalen. Tickets on sale now for the biggest boxing event of the fall season. Ticketmaster.com, Friday, November 7th, Tropicana Atlantic City. Reserve your spot for the action-packed event.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
With Black Friday savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to 40% off, plus up to an extra $1,000 off select appliances like LG, America's most reliable line of appliances. Check out the newest LG refrigerator with new mini craft ice straight from the dispenser. Shop Black Friday savings on select LG appliances, plus get free delivery now at the Home Depot. Free delivery on appliance purchases of $396 or more. Offer valid 11/5 through 12/3, U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you gotta hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe and then it spread. and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions.
Attention, anyone that owes money to the IRS. Every day, your unpaid tax debt gets bigger and bigger from daily interest. The longer you wait, the more you will end up paying. If you owe $10,000 or more, now is the time to settle your debt before the IRS takes aggressive action, like taking your wages or property. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, or other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Your tax debt gets bigger and bigger from daily interest. Call right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, or other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now.
Call 800-354-5850. 800-354-5850. That's 800-354-5850.
You're listening to The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Hey, it's our contest sounder, 99 bottles. Who wants to win a pair of tickets? Caller 7-609-573-3776. 609-573-3776. Caller 7 right now. You are entered for this year's 99 bottles party at Maynard's in Margate. We'll be at Maynard's in Margate for this year's 99 bottles party, and I'm bringing with me Eagles Club Box tickets to see the Eagles and Commanders. I'm bringing multiple pairs of Flyers tickets, multiple pairs of Sixers tickets, and I got tickets to all sorts of other concerts and events from all over South Jersey. Be caller 7 right now at 609-573-3776. And we will see you at the world-famous Maynard's in Margate, 9306 Amherst Avenue. Good luck. Sal Pal's next.
This is Billy Schweim. Saturday morning, I'm back, playing in pain, and Nick Earnshaw will produce the show. The Eagles return after the bye to play the Packers on Monday night. And we will talk with Jeff Skaversky from Fox 29 News. Jeff returns to the Philly market. Hour 2, Mr. Negadelphia PJ Korda checks in, brought to you by the Vassar Pool Service. Next, it's our high school athletes in the spotlight with Fran McLaughlin, brought to you by the Philly Pretzel Factory of Egg Harbor Township. It's the Locker with Billy Schweim, Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3 ESPN.
Black Friday is happening now at the Home Depot, which means it's time to get your home ready for all your holiday moments and traditions.
Hi.
Hey. Right now, you can bring home holiday magic with our wide assortment of dazzling pre-lit trees under $99. Spend more time creating memories and less time assembling with Quick Connect technology that makes it easy to set up your new tree in a few clicks.
Wow.
Hurry in for Black Friday happening now at the Home Depot.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Small Business Saturday is November 29th. Town Square Media supports all local businesses in South Jersey. If you're a small business owner, Town Square Media can help you retain customers and gain new ones for a strong finish to this year and a robust start to 2026. Town Square Media executes digital marketing campaigns that produce real results for small businesses throughout the region. Our team understands the local market and knows how to connect your message with South Jersey consumers. This Small Business Saturday, make sure your business business stands out and drives more foot traffic and online engagement. We look forward to helping your business grow with insights gathered by our data team. Reach your target audience efficiently by utilizing our broadcast and digital capabilities, and get the most from your marketing efforts with the market-leading professionals at Town Square Media. Call Jim McLean today at 609-910-5247 or contact us now at townsquaresouthjersey.com.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Boxing Insider Promotions brings their next action-packed event to Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City on Friday, November 7th. Don't miss out on the return of undefeated super welterweight Justin Figueroa after winning the NABF title this summer. Plus the homecoming fight for Holy Spirit High School graduate undefeated heavyweight boxer Josh Popper. The stacked boxing card includes undefeated South Jersey boxers Bruce Selden Jr. and Leah Lewandowski, plus internationally top-ranked heavyweight Otto Whalen. Tickets on sale now for the biggest boxing event of the fall season. Ticketmaster.com, Friday, November 7th, Tropicana Atlantic City. Reserve your spot for the action-packed event.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products or compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Hi, this is Paul. Welcome to Circle.
Thank you for supporting our Circle Fest food drive.
Hey, Bill, can we please continue our food drive?
Yes, and it's even better. Donate 2 bags of canned food and get $3,000 off MSRP on any 2025 or 2026 Hyundai in stock.
Even on this 2026 Hyundai Palisade Calligraphy all-wheel drive.
All new Circle Hyundais are backed by America's best warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, and Hyundai Assurance.
Don't forget about me and your 2 bags of canned goods.
Only at Circle Hyundai in Shrewsbury or CircleHyundai.com.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Go for holiday bliss. Whether naughty or nice, you are not going to want to miss this. Go for nights that shine with friends a toast so fine. Go to find Santa's place. Go to see that smiling face. Go to give the gift of cheer with the card that brings dreams near. With endless fun and things to do, it is the gift that keeps on giving too. Go for the dazzling lights, it's quite a sight. Go to Ocean Casino Resort for holiday magic of every sort.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They got him again!
Sixers.
Bang! It's good! Ball game!
And Flyers.
Tipped in front of the net!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey. This is the Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Now live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort studio, Here's Mike Gill.
All right, 5 o'clock, driving you home on a Sports Bash Happy Hour Friday. What's going on, everybody? Well, it's been a long layoff for the Birds. It almost feels like you're getting ready for the start of the season with how long they've been off. And another extra day to the Monday night. We got Monday Night Football. You can hear it right here on 97.3 ESPN. Hey, I did want to remind people it is a Sal Pal Friday. We're going to get to Sal Paolantonio in just a moment here, and it all ties in together. There was an event at Great Bay this weekend that you've been hearing about on the radio. That event was scheduled this weekend. It is postponed to the spring. However, if you would still like to donate to the veterans of Summers Point, you can call 609-927 5071 extension 100. That was the event at Great Bay that we had been talking about. That has been postponed until the spring. Sal Paolantonio's back for a Sal Pal Friday, and I saw an exceptional piece that he sent me on Navy football piece that you're going to see all weekend long running. And I've been to the Naval Academy at Annapolis for 4 football games. It is a tremendous experience, and it was a tremendous piece. I look forward to seeing it run over the weekend. And here he is, Sal Paolantonio on a Sal Pal Friday. Welcome back, Sal.
Hey, thanks, Michael, and thank you so much for promoting that piece. You know, I am a veteran, and each and every year, ESPN asks me to do a special feature tying in sports to Veterans Day, and in this particular case, we used a couple of Navy football players who have family members who are veterans or active duty military, and talked about playing for the legacy of their country and their family. And it is actually a pretty powerful piece. It's one of the more difficult pieces that we did. It was very emotional. But Veterans Day is emotional for a lot of people because a lot of people have lost loved ones or friends in foreign wars. And even though a lot of events are being canceled or postponed due to the government shutdown, that doesn't mean we can't honor veterans in any special way that we kind of come up with. And I would just do one thing if I could, Michael. If you have a chance to hire a veteran, do it. It's important. Veterans struggle when they come out of the service. But once you get a veteran on board, your company, they will definitely make you better.
Good message there, and it's a powerful piece. You'll see it running this weekend on the ESPN platforms. And, of course, Sal Pal Friday here. Well, it's been a long layoff for Philadelphia. We kind of asked in the first hour of the show, Sal, and I'd like to get your take on this. You got Philly coming out of a bye. You've got Green Bay coming off an eye-opening loss. So who's in a better spot this week, the bye team or the team that had the eye-opening loss that can't lose back-to-back games at home?
Yeah, you know, that is a powerful question that you just asked, Mike, and a difficult one to answer. I don't know if there's an answer of which team is in a better spot. I am concerned about the long layoff in the middle of the season. It sometimes can be difficult to get the engines revving up again, but you're playing a team that you beat twice last year in the Green Bay Packers. You're playing a team that's wounded. They lost probably their best offensive player other than Jordan Love. They lost their tight end, Tucker Kraft, as everybody knows. He was leading the NFL in receiving yards among tight ends when he got hurt. So he is a special player, and that is a big loss. So it's a wounded, desperate team that you beat twice last year. So they don't need any more motivation than coming in hard and hot against the Philadelphia Eagles. But the rest is always good for NFL teams, always.
Well, especially Sal, for this Eagle team that had the mini bye and now has another bye. They can do a lot of, we're going to talk about the trades and some of but they can do a lot of self-reflection here.
Well, self-correction is a better term than self-reflection. I guess in the case of A.J. Brown, self-reflection, with all the talk around the country that A.J. Brown may be traded, we never thought he would be traded. You and I talked about this the last time I was on, that it wasn't going to happen, and it didn't. And we've established pretty firmly that it wasn't going to happen when I was on your show. But nevertheless, the conversations were wild and crazy about it. It was all over social media. What's going to happen with A.J. Brown? Will Howie Roseman pull the trigger? So in terms of A.J. Brown, he's got to feel like, okay, I've been missing in action with a hamstring injury. I can come back. I can make a run with this team. And hopefully there was a lot of course correction on offense and course correction specifically for A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts.
Well, and a lot of stuff here. All right, let's get into it quickly with Sal Paolantonio. By the way, Johnny G and the Griner team over at Burger Realty, want to give a shout-out to him, as always, on this Happy Hour Friday as we're getting ready for the football. Week 10, the double-digit numbers are here, Sal. And at the double-digit numbers, the Eagles have a little different look on defense. Was Jalen Phillips the move that puts this defense back at championship level?
It was a good move. It wasn't the big blockbuster move that I anticipated, to tell you the truth. I thought maybe they could pry loose one of the more productive and less injured defensive ends, but I guess the price was too high, or Myles Garrett wasn't available, or other guys that we've mentioned were not available. Certainly, Las Vegas was not going to let go of their great defensive end, and we saw why last night. But as you can see right now in the NFL, pass rush is so important. And the thing about players that have come out of Miami who have been unhappy and they come to Philadelphia and they realize a couple of things. One, you will be held accountable. You'll be held accountable by the coaching staff and the organization first and foremost. You will be held accountable by the fans. This is not soft and happy like the, Broward County. This is Philly and South Jersey. This is Hamilton to Harrisburg. This is Trenton all the way to Dover, Delaware. People are paying attention 24/7, especially on social media. Jalen Phillips mentioned it. He said, I never got so many likes on my Instagram. Well, there's a flip side to that, right, Michael? People will hold you accountable, and they will make it known what they think. And then, you go to your locker. It's not like Miami where you got 4 or 5 reporters. You got 40 or 50 reporters.
No
after
doubt.
The game.
Hey, listen, we posted a picture of welcoming him. It had like over 500 likes. I said, man, this guy's pretty popular, Jalen Phillips. So he comes into the edge rushing position. Now they have him. They're going to get Nolan back. You got Jalen Hunt. They have Brandon Graham. Do they have enough there? You add in Jalen Carter. Moroge almost did a nice job. Is this a good enough pass rush down the stretch they come?
I do believe that it is, Michael. I would say the answer to that is yes, if they stay healthy. The way they run the offense, rushing 4 and dropping 7 with occasional blitzes, I would say yes.
All right, let's the two corners, do either make an impact enough for you?
No, they really don't. I mean, I really didn't see much from Carter. He'll play in the slot. You can't put him on the outside. He's not big enough. I think that's the reason why they made the second pickup of Alexander from Baltimore. If Alexander can stay healthy and motivated, he'll have some impact. He's mostly going to be for depth, but I don't think they've solved the starting left cornerback position. I do not.
Okay, so Jair Alexander, we'll see if he gets some action this weekend. Michael Carter, they're the two newbies. We'll see if they're ready to play on Monday night. And then, you got Jahad Campbell, Nakobe Dean. They're going to have to straighten that out. Does Campbell kind of get pushed to the sideline? I guess that would be the last kind of thought I would have on this defense in terms of making this defense whole, is you got your pass rusher. You got to figure out what you're doing at corner and what happens with the Campbell-Dean menagerie there.
Yeah, no, see, I think it's they've got some moving parts there, but that's good because Dean has been injured. So, I mean, it's okay. He'll fit in a little bit. He'll rotate in. But to me, it's Campbell and Zach Bond. But the two guys who are going to decide whether this defense is good enough all the way through a Super Bowl berth if they get there are Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis.
Yeah. Well,
let's focus in my view. And how does this team get the number one seed? That's the big question. How do they get the number one seed? Well, it starts by beating a team that you beat twice last year. And I do think that they will win. And by the way, Johnny G texted me early this morning, and he had the Eagles winning quite easily and the Eagles scoring 37 points.
I think I got that same text on our text board over here a little while ago.
Yeah, I think it was 37-27,
right,
Johnny G, the Grinder team at Berger Realty in Ocean City, New Jersey. I think that was the message that came across. That's a big number, Michael. That is a big number, but the number that surprised me was the 27 points by the Packers. So, if you're going to be in a shootout on Monday night in Green Bay, that'll be something if they can win that. I think, to me, they have to keep teams around 20 to 21 points because I don't think they're going to be able to score 37 points coming out of the chute like this on Monday Night Football after this layoff.
Well, I was going to get to the offense here. A couple moments with Sal Paolantonio, of course, ESPN, the Eagles Monday Night Football this week on ESPN, although I still can't watch it. I have YouTube TV, so we got to get that figured out. However, that being said, 200-yard backs last week. The week before, 200-yard receivers. Is the offense finding its ground?
Sure, and especially if they're going to get healthy, especially in the middle of the offensive line. Juergens and Dickerson.
Big key, yeah.
There's the key. No question about it. That team wants to run off left guard, and they want to run off left guard all day long, and they want to be able to pull their guards and move things around, and Cam has got to keep things together. So that's the most important thing offensively. The way that offensive line goes is the way Saquon Barkley goes. And if Saquon Barkley goes, that opens everything up for Jalen Hurts. We saw that in the Super Bowl. Spagnuolo decided that the Chiefs' defense was going to come down hard on Saquon, and Jalen made them pay. And it starts on Monday night. We're going to see what the offense looks like. I told you last week what I thought they needed to improve during the bye. One, continue to be more multiple on offense. Don't be so predictable. They rolled out a little bit of play action. Let's see more of it. Let's see more pre-snap motion. Let's see more deep shots. Number two, Jalen's got to get rid of that ball quickly. He's got too many sacks coming into last week. He was third in the league in sacks, given up with 25. That's way too many negative plays. Yes, he's not turning the ball over, but sacks are negative plays. You saw that last night on Thursday Night Football. And sacks ultimately do lead to turnovers. So that's to me, the two things that have to happen offensively, Michael.
Well, Sal, Rico Dowd, the great Rico Dowd, had 25 carries for 130. I mean, if Carolina can find a way to run the ball against this defense, I would hope that Kevin Batula can find a little blueprint to follow there. They ran right at Micah Parsons last week and said, hey, number one, try to stop us. Couldn't get the job done. 25 carries, 130 for Dowd, 33 for 163 and 2 touchies. So I'm looking to see a big week out of this Eagle offensive line. What kind of game do you envision?
Yeah, I could see that, Michael. And go back to Brazil last year, right? Jalen turned the ball over 3 times. The defense was still a work in progress last year at the beginning of the year. They had trouble all the way until they gave Cooper DeJean the keys to the car in week 5. Saquon saved the day in Brazil. So
he saved the day a lot of times last year.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about this particular matchup.
Absolutely.
Against Green Bay. Yeah. So the history is there, the matchup is there, the numbers that you just cited are there. And, Saquon's going to be the key down the stretch. he's the man that holds everything together.
I'd like to see a little Bigsby wrapped in there, too. Can they get him involved just a little bit? Just a little bit.
Yeah, wonderful pickup.
He gave him a little something. All right, Sal Paolantonio.
Yeah, absolutely. He reminds me of that running back they picked up out of Miami, if you remember. Gosh, on the tip of my tongue, who helped LeGarrette Blount carry the Eagle. Thank you.
Yeah. By the way,
that's why I'm on your show, Michael.
2017, they went to Miami for a trade. This year, they go to Miami for a trade again. Let's see if it works in the same wonders here. Sal Pal's picks for the game, Monday Night Football. You can hear the game right here on 97.3 ESPN. Sal Pal, what do we got?
Oh, I think the Eagles are going to win the game. I like it 30-20.
30-20 is the Sal Pal Friday pick this week. 30-20 Birds. And that would keep them in the one spot in the NFC. And the Packers, they would have head-to-heads against the Rams, the Packers, the Bucks, with the Lions on the horizon. We'll talk Eagles-Lions next week on a Sal Pal Friday. And don't forget to check out Sal's piece. It'll be running this week. That is a great piece on Navy football. If you've never been to Annapolis for a game, I've been there 4 times, Sal. I look to go back. I went to the Military Bowl last year. What an unbelievable experience just to go in that stadium. And the story that you got a chance, Michael Anthony Parker, that was an awesome story. So everybody out there, check that piece out from Sal Paolantonio. And Sal, we thank you, man.
All right, Michael. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. Sal Paolantonio. And we thank him for his service as well. As he mentioned there, he does that piece this week. You'll see it running on all the ESPN networks except for me because I do not have ESPN currently. We're working on it, though. We're working on it. I'm Mike Gill. This is the Sports Bash. When we come back, don't forget, we got the Nuggets, a late-night edition of the Nuggets. Nick Earnshaw joins me. He was up there in New York today, and he's going to be joining me from the train ride home next on the Sports Bash.
It's Sixers basketball tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the Sixers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
Back to B.J. Double, a two-hand jam. B.J. Edgecombe put on a highlight show in Brooklyn. He's made 2 threes and a two-hand flying stuff. Oh, yeah.
It's Sixers Raptors tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 7:30. It's Sixers basketball all season long on South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia 76ers basketball. 97.3 ESPN.
Hey, Birds fans, it's about that time. Football season's back, and Boardwalk Honda is giving you the chance to score big. Stop in and take advantage of game-changing savings all month long. Shop their lineup of new, pre-owned, and certified pre-owned Hondas. They have something for everyone, and credit problems are no problem with over 25 financial lenders to get you approved and on the road to victory. Visit them in Egg Harbor Township or online at boardwalkhonda.com.
Black Friday savings are here at the Home Depot, which means it's time to add new cordless power to your collection. Right now, when you buy a select battery kit from one of our top brands like Ryobi or Milwaukee, you'll get a select tool from that same brand for free. Click into one of our best deals of the season and stock up on tools for all your upcoming projects. Get Black Friday savings happening now at the Home Depot. Limit 1 per transaction. Exclusions apply. Full eligible tool list in-store and online.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
Kohl's Black Friday deals are dropping early. You can save up to 50% throughout the store all weekend. Yup, call it what you want. Manifestation, luck, fate. The point is, it's happening. Plus, you'll earn $15 Kohl's cash for every $50 spent on Friday. Shop early Black Friday deals at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. And thank the universe later. Select styles up to 50% off, valid November 7th through 9th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
When you switch to Progressive and bundle your home and auto, you could save hundreds, and that's a surprising amount of money.
Whoa, that's like farmer's market money.
That's like, give me a gallon of that locally sourced raw honey money.
That's certified organic heirloom tomatoes in every imaginable color except red money.
That's, let's get 2 pounds of pink oyster mushrooms money. I'm not even sure I like pink oyster mushrooms.
Guess it's time to find out, because you could save hundreds when you switch to Progressive and bundle. Then the world is your pink oyster mushroom. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
You could think you found your dream home online. The kitchen island looks perfect for your inner chef. The backyard, a paradise for your green thumb. And that extra room, hello walk-in closet. But here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. And this sound, yeah, you're going to be hearing a lot of that. Don't let your dream home turn into a nightmare. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
Progressive Insurance presents the Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN. The Eagles facing the Green Bay Packers on Monday night at Lambeau Field, a rematch of last year's wildcard game. The Eagles 6-2. They're back from the bye week. Packers 5-2-1. New defensive lineman Jalen Phillips, who was acquired by Philadelphia earlier in the week from Miami, is expected to play on Monday night. The Flyers defeated the Nashville Predators 3-1 at Bridgestone Arena Thursday, getting 2 goals in the second period, one from Noah Cates, his 4th of the season. It wraps up their 2-game road trip. Philadelphia has won back-to-back games. They return home Saturday for a matchup with the Ottawa Senators. Sixers return home Saturday, hosting Toronto. It starts a 3-game homestand. Philadelphia coming off a loss to Cleveland Wednesday night. They played that game without Joel Embiid and Jared McCain and have dropped back-to-back contests. Progressive is helping veterans drive their lives forward with its Keys to Progress program, online at keystoprogress.com. I'm Tony Desiri, and that's your Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI agent can be set up in minutes to answer calls and questions 24/7, so you never miss a customer, lead, or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Good afternoon with your South Jersey weather forecast. I'm Joe Kelly. We've been enjoying a pretty nice day here in South Jersey. We're going to see some clouds move in tonight. Some showers are possible, even thunderstorms, especially late in the night. Tonight's low about 56. Tomorrow, partly sunny and 67. Not too bad. But Sunday, yikes. Looks like rain showers likely on Sunday with a high of 67. Peeking ahead, Tuesday, we probably won't get out of the 40s for a high. Yikes. That's your South Jersey weather. I'm Joe Kelly.
Introducing the new Vineland Commuter Express with nonstop bus service between the Vineland Transportation Center and the Atlantic City Bus Terminal. In Vineland, connect with regional New Jersey transit buses to Camden, Philadelphia, Gloucester County, and more. In Atlantic City, catch jitneys to the casinos or New Jersey Transit and other bus routes to Philadelphia, New York, and beyond. For work or play, the Vineland Commuter Express leaves twice a day from Vineland and Atlantic City, and it's just $6. Learn more at driveless.com.
We have the perfect solution for sitting in traffic.
You come with me.
The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right, 5:26, happy hour Friday to one and all. Let me know what you're having on this happy hour Friday. We got a lot of people texting in earlier. I got to go back through the text. We had so many texts today that I missed a lot of the happy hour Friday stuff. But we'll try to get him in. All right, Nick Earnshaw. He is the host of Nernshaw Radio Monday nights. He's back for another edition of Nick's Nuggets, producer of the Locker Room Weekends on 97.3 ESPN. We had to move the Nuggets a little around tonight, so we got a late-night edition of the Nuggets. What's up, Nuggets?
What's going on, Mr. Mike? Yo, nice to talk to you. I knew we'd find a way to fit the Nuggets in today at some point. We got to get to them. And what is this, the second time this week I've been at 5:30? 5:30 Nuggets twice this week? Is that right?
I think so. I think we moved one earlier in the week to a 5:30. What happened earlier in the week? Why did we have to move earlier? There was something I did? I can't remember.
I don't even know what day it is at this point. I'm actually in New York City right now. You might hear the sights and sounds in the background here as I'm walking down the street. I'm actually coming up on Madison Square Garden as we speak, shooting something for House of Highlights, so that'll be coming out real soon. We had a lot of fun. But I got to start with this first nugget because it was on my way up today that I could not believe it. So I'm taking the transit up into New York City today to Penn Station. And, you got to get your ticket out. It's all digital now, and they get your ticket, they scan it. The conductor comes up to me today, apparently a big Sixers fan. Comes up, I was wearing all Sixers gear into New York City. Yes, I was. You can check the tapes. You could go on Earnshaw Radio and all your platforms and check it out. I did have all Sixers gear on at one point today, and he turns out to be a Sixers fan, this conductor. And you know what? The first thing he says to me, Mike Gill, trade Embiid. He's ready to trade Embiid. I could not believe it. I was like, we're already doing this in November. I'm like, not yet, man. You can't do it yet. He didn't give me a discount or anything on the ticket heading up to New York, but, he wants to trade Embiid. So I thought that was pretty funny. But you can't – listen, it's so early in the season, and you have no shot if you trade Embiid. You really don't. They're a good team without him. They didn't play well the other night when he wasn't on the floor. So when you get to the playoffs, everything slows down. And that contract, nobody's going to want that, okay? So I was like, I thought, let's give it a couple weeks, all right?
Yeah, the whole trade Embiid thing, I get it if you don't think Embiid's going to be the player that he was. I'm not going to sit here and argue. I need some more. Listen, right now he's not the player that he was. Right now he is not the player that he was. Is this the best? We had Austin Krell on last hour. He seems to think that Joel is kind of easing his way back into this and that, he said, I wrote it down, he expects Joel to be much better as the season goes on. As I said the same thing. I said, look, I think Joel will ease his way back. He said this minute restriction thing has been a little bit of a problem for Embiid. But that being said, he has not been the Joel Embiid that we all remember. Also, that also doesn't mean that you should trade him and you think you're going to get value for him. Nobody's going to want that contract, right? No one's going to say, you know what, Joel Embiid looks great right now. Let me take on that contract. So just saying trade Joel, I understand it out of a frustration thing, but it's not really realistic. So I don't see the Sixers finding a way to trade Joel Embiid. The only way that could possibly happen is if by the trade deadline, Joel is kind of playing more minutes, more fluidity in the offense, and there's a team that thinks his style of offense, which is kind of a perimeter game now, and getting to the free throw line, he's still very good at that, is a missing piece for them. And I don't know that there's very many teams that are going to say that.
No, there's not going to be a team out there that really wants that contract, or Paul George's for that matter. I had a lot of conversations up here in NYC about Paul George, unfortunately. But, yeah, I mean, nobody's going to want the Joel Embiid contract. They would worry about the knee issues, the health, his age, all that type of stuff. Very similar to what we've been talking about with the Phillies, right? Health and ages and all of that good stuff. But when it comes to Joel, right now for the Sixers, he's going to be on a minutes restriction, okay? It's going to take him some time to get used to that. It's going to take time for Nick Nurse to get him in the right situations as well and figure out these rotations with all the guards they have too. And how does Joel Embiid fit in those different rotations? Because things seem to slow a little bit down when he's on the floor, right? So they want to run and gun when they just have the guards out there. For Joel, it's going to take some time with the minutes restriction and getting used to playing with a lot of these guards. This is a different team than last year and years past, and it's a different Joel Embiid. Now, he hasn't been the same player he's been in years past when he's the MVP, et cetera, but just give him a couple weeks. We're in early November at this point. So, just hold your horses. Everyone's always ready to trade everybody around here. We got to relax a little bit. Give it some time. Let Joel get his feet under him. Well, let this team get their feet under him here early on in the season.
Well,
it's
I would ask
only
this
November.
question. I would ask this question, okay? You go back to the NBA MVPs, okay? How many MVPs how many guys have won the MVP, and then 2 seasons later you were like, trade that guy?
Yeah, not too many. I can't tell you too many. I don't hear guys.
Well, I'll go back through.
Telling you to trade Jokic.
I'll go back through real quick. Nobody wants to trade Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. No one wants to trade Jokic. Jokic, by the way, won back-to-back. Then Joel, then Jokic won again. No one's asking to trade Giannis. James Harden, when he won in 2017, I don't think anybody was asking to trade him in terms of what his play was. Now, he might have turned into a guy that you just didn't feel like dealing with anymore, but it wasn't because his play deteriorated. Same with Russell Westbrook. He was averaging a triple-double. 2 seasons later, people were like, hey, Russell Westbrook, excuse me. Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James. Derrick Rose is weird because he got hurt. You know, he had the injury situation.
Well,
which
does
you
that
could say
parallel with Joel, right?
Right, I was going to say you could say that Joel.
Right,
you could say that Joel also has the injury and that he's not playing at that MVP level. I would also, like, people forget, and Austin Krell brought this up. You know, we just expect that when these guys come back and they're playing, after not playing with a major knee problem for, he got hurt in February. You're seeing with Jared McCain, who's a young kid, and he got hurt in December, and he just came back and played 15 minutes and didn't look himself. So we just anticipate that these guys are going to jump back on the court and become an MVP-level player. He's going to have to work himself back into that. But what I am encouraged by with Joel is that he is finding his shot. He's starting to get, right now he's been a low-efficiency shooter on some nights, but not all the nights. Once he gets that rhythm and that shot back and his legs underneath of him, he's still very deadly with that offensive shot from the elbow, from the nail, from the circle, and all that stuff. The big question for me will be, can he get the defensive rim protection back that really made him a dominant two-way player?
Yeah, and that's the difference because he's been so good on the defensive end, blocking shots. I mean, that first preseason game, it was like, oh my gosh, is this guy back? Like he's very active on the defensive end. He's getting steals, all that type of stuff. And for Joel, it's just going to take some time. It's going to take some time for this team. And you got to remember, Nick Nurse has to figure out all these rotations, too, because of all the guards they have. McCain going to come back. He didn't look himself. He's going to take some time to get into a rhythm, right? Hit some three-point shots. They have Grimes, Maxey, and all these guards, Edgecombe as well. It's going to take some time to figure out all these rotations and get themselves on. But they've looked good early on in the season, okay? So we got to relax a little bit with Joel and the trade talk. And, I can't believe the conductor. First thing, trade Embiid. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Hey, I know there's a lot of people that have that same message, and I'm not here to tell them that they're right or wrong because I've said before, listen, he's not the same player right now. Let me see what he looks like in March. What does this season look like for him as he kind of matriculates through the season? And if by, February, like that stretch run where they're starting to go for seeding, you're hoping, that month of March and stuff like that, where is he? Where is the knee? Where is the what does the body look like? Because in years past, he has come in and looked trim, and then he's gained the weight back. So can he keep his body weight down? That's something that's been encouraging, is that the body, he still doesn't look, like a heavier version of Joel Embiid yet.
No, he doesn't. And we'll move along to nugget number 2 with this as well. So, speaking of injuries, Paul George is apparently, according to reports, he's apparently, going to be looked at by doctors this week and get the final okay, essentially, to play. Because I keep asking, and people, and we talked about it today. Where is Paul George? He's been practicing. Why hasn't he been on the floor yet? McCain got out there the other night. Why can't Paul George get out there? And that's going to be the key. What does he look like? What are you going to get out of Paul George? Because if you can get a top-level Paul George, this is elevating this team a lot, especially in a wide-open East. So this weekend, going to be a big weekend for Podcast P.
Nick Nurse was asked about this today. Didn't really give a clear answer. Basically said if he can get, he's going to go to the doctors and get cleared. I thought it was a weird answer to say, okay? He got asked about Paul George and Dominic Barlow, and he said about Barlow, this is what I thought was weird. He's got a follow-up on Monday. You're an NBA team. You don't have a doctor on hand that you can get him into a follow-up? Like, what are we waiting for here? This whole thing with Barlow, I think, is bizarre. I didn't see the injury. That was the game against Charlotte on that Saturday night. So I didn't see what happened, but I know he left the game. He had a laceration in the elbow, and I understand a laceration in the elbow being a problem. I said, but what did he do? Like, how deep was this cut? Like, what did he do to get the laceration that deep that he can't play? And he's like in a sling.
Yeah, I mean, Cheap Seats Pete and I were there, and we were wondering, where did Barlow go? So we must have missed him. You can't really see sometimes up in the nosebleeds. You know, it's one of the downfalls of being up in the nosebleeds. But, yeah, you see the pictures coming out from practice today. He's got, like, a big cast on the elbow. But it's very weird. And, you know, the Sixers medical department, you know, has had some questionable decision-making in the past, too. So I'm not surprised by Nick Nurse's answer. I don't know how there's not a doctor figuring all this stuff out. Paul George has been practicing. You really don't know. Apparently he's going to get looked at this weekend. When is he going to come back? It's all very bizarre, and it's been bizarre for the last couple of seasons, and this is nothing new to the Sixers organization.
And I talked to Krill earlier. We had Austin Krill on from On Patterson, and I asked him about that in terms of getting Paul George back, and I said, you know, I didn't have a lot of anticipation for Paul George coming back. Should I? I will say I am starting to I feel like what Paul George brings fits what this team's lacking.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. By the way, the injury report for the Sixers just came out. McCain is available. Embiid is not listed at all. So Austin Krell brought up a good point. Is tomorrow night they're wearing the throwbacks? You're going to see Embiid play tomorrow night. There's no way that he's not going to be wearing the throwbacks tomorrow night.
No, he has to play tomorrow night. I may be up in the bleeds for that one tomorrow. I might have to make my way. I might have to make my way down. There's going to be a chance I'm up in the bleeds tomorrow. Hip hop's back. Like, gotta see it. Right.
I was going to say maybe I'll join you, but I'm not sitting in the bleeds.
No, we're going all the way up. I want the last seat up in the top row.
No way, man. That's just not even worth my time. Because I'm going. I got to call the game in Delaware tomorrow. So after the game, maybe I pop over and do the little Sixer throwback game. I'm blanking on what they're doing tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be a fun one. I'll be tuning in to Hanging with Hang. I'll be tuning in to your call as well. It'll be a fun day.
Breaking right now. Breaking. Eagles injury report. Here we go. Looks clean. DNP, Adoree Jackson, Juergens, that we knew. Everybody else is good to go. Nolan Smith said after practice he intends to play. Barkley full. Jacorian Bennett full. A.J. Brown full. Willie Lampkin full. Moro Ojomo full. And Nolan Smith full.
Wow, there we go. Great injury report. Good news there for a majority of it. And listen, before I get out of here,
Nuggets clean.
Yeah. A.J. Brown. Did you see the interview yesterday? And I got to say, Devontae Smith's reaction when A.J. Brown was asked about being traded, the face that Devontae Smith made was absolutely hysterical. They're just trolling all the time.
He said like he might have or something like that?
Yeah, something along those lines. But the reaction from Devontae Smith when he was asked all these questions, hilarious. Like, you could tell they were just trolling everybody.
Listen, they're not fooling me. They're fooling people like you who give hearts on text messages. You give a thumbs up on a text message, you're smart enough to realize these guys are trolling fools like you.
You got to heart the message. You got to let them know you care, Mike. You got to let them know you care. All right, those are 3-pack of nuggets today.
3-pack of nuggets here on the Sports Bash. All right, Nick Nuggets, a late-night edition of the Nuggets. He's got to jump on the train heading back from the NYC. But we'll do the Nuggets hopefully at our normal time again next week. 4:30 for Nuggets generally, but a special late-night edition of the Nuggets tonight on the Sports Bash. All right, man.
All right, Mike, I'll talk to you. I'm headed into Penn Station now. I'll see you.
Take care. All right. Today's Nuggets here on the Sports Bash live on 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Live video streaming on the X platform, YouTube, at Mike Gill Show. So, all right, a couple quick things on the Embiid. He is not on the injury report for tomorrow, so I anticipate that he'll play. The other thing is that no Paul George tomorrow night. He is out. Dominic Barlow is also out. Looks like McCain is going to play. This is what I would say in regards to what the Sixers are doing right now. They're 5-3. They have the back-to-back, which, by the way, They have 16 back-to-backs this year. That's the most in the NBA. They've already now are coming up on their third back-to-back. Can the NBA schedule maker get a clue? Like, is this so hard? Like, I get it. Putting together a schedule, yes, is not easy, especially but there should be no reason. First off, if you listen to my NBA schedule idea, it would be a lot better league. There'd be more interest, and you wouldn't be playing back-to-backs. Okay, this back-to-back thing, there should never be a back-to-back. In the world that we live in today, I think you can figure out a way to not play back-to-backs, okay? There's no reason to play a back-to-back. It's obviously hurting the product. These guys' bodies, they just are not bouncing back like for whatever reason, and we don't know what was going on in the 80s and the 90s and the 70s and all that stuff, but there's no reason to play back-to-backs. This is the third time that the Sixers have played a back-to-back this season. And they've done it twice in the same week now. They just played Tuesday, Wednesday, and now they're playing Saturday and Sunday. Now, last night, the Flyers played Nashville. Was that game in Philly last night? No. So the Xfinity Mobile Arena was open last night. Possibly, now you would say, hey, you play Tuesday, Wednesday, you can't play Thursday. I get that. So you got to figure out, let's not play Tuesday, Wednesday. Let's get them someplace else. There's a way to figure this out where these teams are not playing back-to-back. And if you listen to the way that I said to do it is every team in the league, in the NBA, okay, for the month of October, for the month of November, for the month of December, the NBA only plays Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You play no back-to-backs. You either play Tuesday, Friday, or Wednesday, Friday. That's it. Because nobody cares about your team on Sunday. Nobody cares about your team on Sunday. Although I will say, I will watch Saturday and I will watch Sunday because the Eagles are off Sunday night. And it's a kind of a clunker Sunday night game. Pittsburgh Chargers, it's okay. But we talked about this with McGarry back in the first hour. It is hard for this team to get any sort of rhythm or any sort of belief in them because you can't get the guys playing normal minutes. And for that, I'm not out on the season. I'm enjoying the season. It's way more entertaining than last year, but I'm out on any big-time expectations. If you can't play Paul George regular minutes, if you can't play Joel Embiid regular minutes, if you can't play Jared McCain regular minutes, that's three guys who are a part of your rotation that are very big time, that need to be big time. And if you can't play them normal minutes, normal flow, I just don't see where the expectations can be where you want to be. If those guys are healthy and they're playing normal minutes, you can't expect them to play one night, not the next night, then not. You got to have flow. That's basketball's chemistry. You can't just throw a guy into the pot and say, hey, man, here you go, play 15 games together, go figure it out. That doesn't work. It's never worked in this league. It never has. All right, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. Text board's been buzzing today. We've got his text messages came in. Mike, I just called Xfinity for you. You can go to the office in Mays Landing by the mall at 8 o'clock. If you had service with them before, I believe you can get a box and just set it up yourself. I did have service with them before, but I don't feel like driving out there. That's why I'm not going back. That's why I got too much going on tonight. You know what I actually have to do? So I'm calling the game tomorrow. The game's on TV, CW 57, 1 o'clock. I'm doing the play-by-play for the Blue Coats this year. Not every game. I'm doing, select games. D. Lynham and I are doing the game tomorrow. I guess I have to be somewhat dressed up.
Somewhat dressed up?
Yeah. So if I'm calling the game on TV,
right?
What level of dressed up do I need? I can't wear what I'm wearing now.
No, I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
I would probably say you should wear something.
Do I need to go blazer?
Can
I go?
It's a good question.
Can I go 3/4 zip with a tie?
Quarter zip with a tie sounds like it's something that
like a nicer, not like an Adidas one,
right? Not like a
nicer
schleppy one,
not one that has a logo on it,
right?
Like a higher end one,
right? Like one that you might see if you went to like a business function.
Yeah, but I'll go tie underneath,
right?
Dress shirt, 3/4. I'm not a blazer guy. I'm just not. I don't even own a blazer.
I mean, I think that what you just
it's Friday night at 5:45. I'm calling the game tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I still don't have a blazer. So I used to have a blazer. I don't even know what I did with it. I just don't have any functions where I need one.
Well, the last time I saw you wear one was when you were CM Punk.
I wore them for CFFC. And you know how long I had it on for?
5 seconds?
30 seconds. If that. So I literally, and my man CM Punk's rolling in with like a $2,500 suit.
Naturally.
Right. And then there's me schlep rocking next to him. I had that blazer on, and we would do the opens for those fights, and I would be on camera 8 seconds. I mean.
Well, that's the thing with tomorrow, which is how often do you think you're really going to be on camera?
I don't know. I've never, I haven't called. I mean, how often is Kate, Scott, and Ala on TV? They're on not long, but
they're usually on like the very beginning of the broadcast, the start of the second half, and then the end.
Yeah. Well, I'll figure it out. I'm not all that worried about it.
I mean, I can't say I'm like a hardcore G League watcher, but every time I've seen a G League game, I can't tell you if I've ever seen the broadcast.
I have seen them, and sometimes it's different. Some of the guys wear suits. Some of the guys go blazer. Some of the guys go polo, like team issued.
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
See, that's probably what I would do. I'd probably go team issued polo.
Well, if they had game, I don't have one right now.
Right.
So when I get there tomorrow, I'll bring whatever I got, and I'll hold it up and say, "What do you think?" All right, Sports Bash will close out the show. Coming up next.
It's Sixers basketball tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the Sixers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
Back to B.J. Donovan, a two-hand jam. B.J. Edgecombe puts on a highlight show in Brooklyn. He's made 2 threes and a two-hand flying stuff. Oh, yeah.
It's Sixers Raptors tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 7:30. It's Sixers basketball all season long on South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia 76ers basketball. 97.3 ESPN.
Hi, this is Paul. Welcome to Circle.
Thank you for supporting our Circle Fest food drive.
Hey, Bill, can we please continue our food drive?
Yes, and it's even better. Donate 2 bags of canned food and get $3,000 off MSRP on any 2025 or 2026 Hyundai in stock.
Even on this 2026 Hyundai Palisade Calligraphy all-wheel drive.
All new Circle Hyundais are backed by America's best warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, and Hyundai Assurance.
Don't forget about me and your 2 bags of canned goods.
Only at Circle Hyundai in Shrewsbury or CircleHyundai.com.
Black Friday savings are here at the Home Depot, which means it's time to add new cordless power to your collection. Right now, when you buy a select battery kit from one of our top brands like Ryobi or Milwaukee, you'll get a select tool from that same brand for free. Click into one of our best deals of the season and stock up on tools for all your upcoming projects. Get Black Friday savings happening now at the Home Depot. Limit 1 per transaction. Exclusions apply. Full eligible tool list in-store and online.
Paid for by term provider. Premiums will vary. Plans depend on age, location, and other factors. Visit biglou.com.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-777-1225.
Why is NJM Insurance silent in an industry full of catchy jingles? And how do they do what's right when things go wrong? Tune in to Baffling Mysteries to find out.
This fictional podcast is brought to you by NJM. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Boxing Insider Promotions brings their next action-packed event to Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City on Friday, November 7th. Don't miss out on the return of undefeated super welterweight Justin Figueroa after winning the NABF title this summer. Plus the homecoming fight for Holy Spirit High School graduate undefeated heavyweight boxer Josh Popper. The stacked boxing card includes undefeated South Jersey boxers Bruce Selden Jr. and Leah Lewandowski, plus internationally top-ranked heavyweight Otto Whalen. Tickets on sale now for the biggest boxing event of the fall season. Ticketmaster.com, Friday, November 7th, Tropicana Atlantic City. Reserve your spot for the action-packed event.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Crisp air, campfires, and tailgate parties under the autumn sky. Fall is RV season, and Whitehorse RV Center is your home team. Score big with the industry's best travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhomes. Perfect for game day setups or weekend getaways. Family owned since 1973, Whitehorse RV delivers transparent pricing, unbeatable service, and a personal touch you won't find anywhere else. Visit Whitehorse RV Center online at whitehorserv.com or at one of their 2 convenient area locations. Whitehorse RV Center. Your RV adventure starts here.
You're listening to The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, that's our cue to call right there, our contest sounder for the 99 Bottles Party, 609-573-3776, 609-573-3776. Caller number 7 right now. You are entered for this year's 99 Bottles Party at Maynard's in Margate. You must be present to win. On Wednesday, November the 26th, we'll be live at Maynard's in Margate for this year's 99 Bottles Party. It's our biggest party of the year. And everybody that enters wins a pair of tickets, including caller 7 right now. We've got Club Box Eagles seats. We've got multiple pairs of Flyers tickets, Sixers tickets, concert tickets, area shows, and more. You must be present to win at Maynard's in Margate, 9306 Amherst Avenue in Margate, 609-573-3776. Have a great Friday, everybody. See ya.
Hey, this is Josh Hennig inviting you to join me this Saturday for Hanging with Hennig, 12 to 3 p.m. on 97.3 ESPN. We will talk about the Eagles' big trades and their return for the bye week with AP senior NFL insider Rob Motti, perspective on the college football playoff contenders with Mikey V, plus NFL Week 10 Sunday preview with fantasy football analyst Andy McNamara. Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN is sponsored by Tropicana Atlantic City and the Gridiron Pit, the ultimate watch and wager experience, powered by Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app offering you Caesars rewards. Work of Art Construction. Make your home look brand new with Art Masters' 40 years of construction experience. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern featuring the sound on for every Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers game at South Jersey's best sports bar in Marmora. And Clemic Performance Method in Egg Harbor Township. That's Hanging with Hennig this Saturday from 12 to 3 p.m. on 97.3 ESPN FM, streaming live on YouTube and X.
With Black Friday savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to 40% off.